Welcome to Snowmobile Sessions Live on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms. We're the #1 destination to learn about snowmobiling, network with other sledders, and have an awesome time doing it. We'll meet other snowmobilers that share your passion and show your fan photos along the way. Snowmobile Sessions Live. Enjoy the ride.
It's a journey for life and I'm your ride. Hang on.
This episode of Snowmobile Sessions Live is brought to you by Energy Power Sports, Oakville's full-line BRP dealer with sales and service to all BRP models and so much more. I was down there this week for the Ski-Doo launch, and if you've been living in a cave and you haven't seen what's happening as far as the new Mach and the Lynx lineup goes, give John Luke a call at Energy Power Sports, and he will get you behind the bars. EnergyPowersports.ca. They're awesome. All right, boys, how you doing?
Very good.
Doing good.
Yeah,
Great to be back, boys. Yeah.
So what did you think of that launch there, Bobby? Like, what do you think?
I was pretty excited. The Mach was definitely exciting to see that come back, and the active suspension. I for sure thought Polaris was going to do that first. So to see Ski-Doo do it was awesome. And those Lynx sleds definitely started to get my attention more and more. That rear suspension in the trail crossover version seems super trick. So
Bobby be on the Lynx next year.
yeah.
And it's totally like I was watching the Snow Tracks TV video today and of them unboxing it, and they were blown away by how different it is. Like it's not just a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's a totally different animal that we have here. So it'll be great. I can't believe I posted it. I actually commented in your chat, their early chat there, Bobby. I can't believe the Lynx 900R isn't getting more attention than the Mach. Like that is, you can still get the turbo now. It doesn't have the out of the gate thing, whatever it's called. Somebody's going to post it in there, but the Lynx 900R would be an animal. I don't know.
You guys can get the Lynx with something other than an 850.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's in the promo
900.
video. 900R.
Interesting.
I don't see why you guys can't. Maybe it's
I don't know. I was looking at the website and I thought all I saw was 850s, but yeah, that would be wicked if you could get the 900 turbo also.
Oh yeah, it's there. It's shown anyway.
In the videos I've seen from Lynx, it looks like that thing rips backcountry just like any two-stroke. It looks like they're ripping it around.
Made for the major moguls when they don't have groomed trails over there, right? So it's like they were designed to take the beating. So
absolutely,
yeah.
So well, we were going to have riding in Muskoka, Gary.
Oh, exactly. Hey, we were gonna have a big conversation about this, and we got lots of fan photos to go to. But we had a special guest come on last minute. I'll bring him in. It's John Miller. He's a backcountry expert and a TOBE sponsored rider. So welcome aboard, John Miller.
Oh,
I think you're muted. Yeah.
Did you mute him, Gary? Or
there we go. No, I don't think I did. Hey,
hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah,
perfect.
Nice to meet you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, for sure. So give us a little bit of background. Like I hope I don't offend you, but just from me looking around, it seems to be you're kind of a parallel with a like a Dave Nerona type, where you like the backcountry sledding and the sled skiing and snowboarding and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, Dave's a skier, so I'm a snowboarder. We're a little different, but yeah, we use the snowmobiles for access, kind of a multi-sport experience, and I think I'm as much of a snowmobiler now as I am a snowboarder. I've been in the backcountry for about 35 years, and came from Northwest Colorado, and have been in Colorado most of my life. So just surrounded by a lot of awesome terrain and good snow, and been in it pretty much since I was a little kid. So
nice. Are you heavy in the season right now? Like, is this something where you're out riding today kind of thing? And
I wish. Actually, today's the first day I haven't been on snow in probably, I don't know, 10 or 11 days. Definitely been getting out there quite a bit this year.
That's cool.
Right on.
That's cool. We have too, but not in any way the capacity you have. I mean,
For sure.
we have a solid 4 to 6 inches of snow on our trails.
Oh man,
I'm just kidding. We might have.
well, you guys have radiators on your sleds up there, so you can pretty much just ride them on the highway, can't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you still need snow to cool the radiator. You have to kick it up there, so it's really no different than the mountain. Then what do you ride? Are you like a dude guy or Polaris or? What do you ride?
I'm a free agent, but I worked for Polaris for a long time and kind of drank the Kool-Aid and got to know their chassis really well. Kind of learned snowmobiling from, the pretty much all their backcountry athletes. And I don't know. I can't ride a Skidoo to save my life, but I haven't ridden one of their newer ones. So these Turbo 850s look pretty awesome. Everybody has a lot good to say about them. So I'm kind of interested in, trying some other brands out.
Yeah, for sure. Well, they say it's not hype. It's that 850 turbo in the mountains is everything they hype it up to be, and then some, right? It's dynamite. So
I've heard nothing but good stuff about that sled. Like nobody seems to be. I think everybody keeps saying like doesn't miss a beat. Like just has been super reliable, and obviously the turbo sleds were not always a reliable proposition. So it's pretty exciting that the industry is bringing the factory turbo into their snowmobiles. And I'm definitely excited to get myself some kind of a turbo in the next couple of years.
Nice.
That's awesome. I'm sure other manufacturers will follow suit. That's for sure. It's only a matter of time, right? So
if the performance is there, they'll have to. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing. Dave was on, and he said that with the old turbos that you install yourself, you pretty much needed 2 sleds, one to ride and one as a backup. That was running. Because the turbo one was always going to let you down, but not so much now that it's a factory turbo and it's all backed by warranty and everything. So yeah,
those guys. 10 years ago, I remember seeing like the Boondockers guys in the Rabbit Ears parking lot, and they pretty much spend their day in the trailer. Like they're not really riding that much. And I don't know. I'm a gearhead, but I really would just rather go ride. So
messing around with your sled for sure.
I take my sled to people who know what they're doing. If it's out of my scope of expertise, and I'd rather spend my time exploring the mountain.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
No, that's good. Do you want to hang out with us while we do some fan photos?
Sure. I mean, I've never just run right into a strange podcast before, so I'm here for the ride. I'm exploring the backcountry right now.
Sit back and enjoy.
It doesn't get any stranger than this. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
Julie from TOBE Outerwear. She hooked us up with John Miller, and it was like it was truly a last minute thing. And so we really appreciate you being here, and you don't know what you've gotten yourself into, that's for sure. But this is my most favorite part of the show. We got John actually sent me in some stuff, and I've had lots over the last 2 weeks because we were off last week because it was Family Day, and in the U.S. they had President's Day, was it, Bobby?
Yep.
And then we did the TOBE Outerwear Monosuit draw on the Wednesday. We did the Monday show where we promoted it, and then we did the draw on the Wednesday. And I did a huge jump off with my sled, and all the offers were coming in to sponsor me, and I just haven't gotten back to anyone yet. So
you've gone pro.
It's coming. I know it's coming. It's getting it. So but Energy Power Sports is my guys. So
there it is. Loyalty above all.
Exactly. Okay, let's get right to this. Okay, boys. All right. Here, I got to get myself bigger here.
That was quite the intro.
Isn't that awesome?
That was Mike.
one of our fans from Sled Addicts, Mike Eisenberg, he made that riff. That's him playing the guitar.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, he was on one of our first shows or one of our early shows, and he had all these guitars behind him. And then he and I got chatting. I said, hey, would you mind, doing a little riff for us? And then he goes, what are you thinking? And I said, I don't know, just something cool. And then he sent me that, and it's like, what else? Do you want to change? And I was like, no, that is dynamite. It's perfect. So yeah, for sure. Hey, we got, let's see who's in the house here. Dominator 286, Sled Addicts. Yeah, pretty cool guitar lick. Mr. Snow Rock Slowbees in the house. Bruce Stewart on my side. We got Snowstorm, Sledders Nation, Jay Caraco 22, Tony Cat. What's up, Tony Cat? Jay Fly Low. We got some Tony Cat photos in here. Odin's Child is in there. They're one of the first, if not the first. Matthew Elliott. There he goes. Yeah, he's in your area, I guess. Snowstorm loves that riff. Everybody does. Probably Sled Axe will come up with an album and you'll be able to download all of Mike Eisenberg's songs. Yeah. So anyway, here we go. Let's get into this here. We got Ryan from More Toys, More Noise. And he didn't send me anything except more pics for the show. Or just pics for the show. I don't know how many.
Nice looking sled there.
Yeah.
He's got some good content too.
Yeah, he does. He's good.
Yep.
He works hard, Yep. He just plugs away. Look at that. That might be Blue Mountain. See, Ryan,
nice.
You have to send me.
Yeah, I think that's
some
Collingwood
verbiage
area.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it totally does.
Yeah.
He's in that area. I sent him a message to ride when I was up north, thinking he was closer to my cabin, and he's a lot more south than what I thought he was. So, yeah, there they are having fun. Again, we'd like to know some stories on that, or also, I'll just start making it up.
Yeah, that's it. Eh? It looks like it's the trail coming out of Algonquin Park, the south part there. Where they're.
It does too, doesn't it? With those
hydro
power
line.
lines.
Yep.
Yeah, that could be. Jimmy G. He says after
nice.
3. Yeah, this is nice. I know he's sending pictures before. That's that old Summit, just like Grace Gear had as her dad had. After 3 hours of riding and 30+ inches of fresh powder at Buck Creek near Big Sky, Montana. What an awesome day. Isn't that wild? And then Swanky Cat has no photo, but he said, Gary, last night was a blast. Thanks again for having me on. I'm really looking forward to next time. See, you don't even have to send me a photo. He sent me a story and I read it. There you go. And this is Matt Jordan. Matt Jordan says, I grew up snowmobiling as a young kid and teenager. Nothing was better than watching the Weather Network, getting some fresh snow, and enjoying some great trails. With schoolwork and added expense of snowmobiling, it took me 25 years to get back into this great sport. Having a rough year with my girlfriend, getting very sick, and fighting through chemo treatments, she and the experience helped me recognize that life is too short to always say next winter. Man, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Cheers to her.
For sure.
I ended up getting a great deal on a Polaris and have been enjoying the late arrival of winter. Great content and continued to inspire the snowmobilers.
Nice looking sleds, man. Nice looking sleds.
Yeah,
that matte black with the white decals. I've never seen those. Bobby, have you seen that? Like not many of them around.
The 2018. If you didn't snow check, that's like the in-season one.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah,
it's nice looking though.
It's a beauty. It's an awesome color.
And the Vipers are always cool looking too.
Yeah, a little bit of every brand there too.
Yeah, you got the Do Rep in there as well. Yeah, nice looking sleds, boys.
Oh, we lost Bobby.
Did you boot Bobby out, Gary, already?
No, he's having the internet problem tonight. Hey, wait till it's your turn, Rich.
Oh, I won't, buddy.
John, when we had Julie on last week, it was or the TOBE Outerwear. You have a sponsor having the show, and what a disaster that was. I kept dropping out every 5 minutes. Hey, welcome to the club,
at least
Bobby.
The bar is low for me. So.
Exactly. Hey, all you need is a Commodore 64, and we'll get you on the live stream. That's all you need. Hey, Bobby, Rich was dissing you for dropping out, and I'm like, your turn's next, man.
Thank God it didn't happen that other day when you were disappearing. We would have had no one on here.
Right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
John by himself. Could you imagine? Oh man, too funny.
For sure. I was just telling John what a disaster. You get a sponsor, the really good prize, and you're trying to promote them, and you keep dropping out of the stream, and I'm so flustered. She gave me a script to read at like the 11th hour, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't, like, I don't know. I can't even concentrate because I was so fuming about the, about dropping.
Yeah. With your luck, you'd get halfway through and it would cut out.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know when and the sad thing is I didn't know when I was on and when I was off. So
yeah.
Apologize to all my fans, but here's some more pictures. Yeah. I can't believe the Skidoo's taking a back seat there. Oh, there it is. Nice backcountry.
Good looking sleds.
Yeah, they are. Great looking sled. Yeah. Corey Root. Look at the blades. Night blades. Is that what they're called?
Nice looking.
Yep.
So Corey Root has no comment. So we're just going to make one up. This is Corey Root in somewhere near Muskoka, I'd say. Muskoka, Ontario, judging by that bridge. Or it could be. No, you know where he is, Bobby.
He's in the U.S. Bobby knows where he's from. Bobby, where's he from?
Right here. I know.
Gary's about to say it's got to be
Tug Hill.
I actually rode one of those yesterday.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
It was really fast. I was guiding some people. They were on trail sleds, and I was on a mountain sled, but we swapped for a minute.
Nice.
That wide stance. I'm not used to, the trail sled.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. What are those things that you can see out the corner of the body, right?
Yeah, but man, it really stuck to the corners. Our mountain sleds are so tippy, so it was crazy to go around the corner.
And the front ends are awesome, man. They really are.
I've had a chance to ride the Ski-Doo 850 and the Polaris 850 this year, so it's been great. And a turbo Viper SR. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
How big is that motor?
What are they? 1096s triple.
It's a 4-stroke turbo, right?
4-stroke turbo. Yeah. It was good. It was just by the time it came to life, you're going too fast. Like it wasn't. Mike's Muskoka Mike, if he's in the house, he disagree with me, but it was not usable power in my mind for what I ride, like as far as the trail riding goes. Corey's 850, the Ski-Doo 850 XRS, hands down the most useful trail sled you can get as far as if you want to win on, well, sorry, Rich. If you want to try and win on, sorry, Jesse and Mike, if you want to try and win on the lake, again, Polaris assault aside, if you want to try and win on the lake, it'll get you to the end in the first time. But as far as the trail goes, it's useful, clean power the whole way through. And the VR1 was totally cool too. And Rich, it's funny you said about the floorboard, the running boards, because I got on that VR1, and that's the first thing I noticed is I felt I was falling off those running boards, and the big bead on the side of it was it's like a 1-inch square block or 3/4 inch square block. I felt like I was on a skate blade. I don't understand that. My feet are locked in too much. They're in there too tight, and I hate that. Like if you got to bail or do something quick, I like the Skidoos because you're out and you're out of there. Like if you got to go into the rhubarb, you don't want your feet locked in there. And see, I find my Polaris, my feet are locked in there way too tight. That's my problem is I don't put my feet in the front. I ride
you ride like it's 1970. Okay.
No, I ride like I'm on a dirt bike. I ride with my feet underneath me, and it's like. And
is that like me on the seat?
Yeah. But you know what though? It's funny you say that though, Gary, because the Dews, when I switched off with Mike, and I said that to Mike, the Dews sit way higher than the Matrix. It feels like you're on an ATV on the Dews. To me.
Oh, I felt the other way around. I felt
really
the VR1. I love the seating position. You're upright. It was nice and skinny. It did. It felt like I was on a quad. And then but the Dew, has that same feeling. But I felt like the Polaris was more upright. Now, some people say they like the seat better on the Polaris, but I didn't really notice a difference on the seat at all. From one to the other, but they're both great machines. The truth is you can't go wrong. If I ride it and go ahead.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. They're amazing. Like Mike's Dew was awesome. And actually I found Bobby, I meant to bring this up too. I found for my hips, I'm an old guy now, man. I'm going to be 50 next month. I
Ooh,
found my hips were in a better position on the Dew than the Polaris.
Huh.
Like don't get me wrong. The Polaris is comfortable, but I just found because I sat higher, my legs weren't as bent in the hip area. So, like I said, the three things I loved about the Dew was my legs and my hips sitting on the Skidoo, but I felt I was too high on it. So there's that trade-off for the way I felt. Yeah. The footwells, I loved that open footwell on the Skidoo, and the clutching. Like I said, it reminded me of my Yamaha roller rooster. The back shifting when you get off the gas on the Dew, you don't need to put your brake. You don't need to put the brake on going into the corner. Like I was noticing that following Mike and Jesse, they let off the gas, and you know where I'm going into the corner hot, and I put the brakes on to set my front end, and go around. It's just totally two different riding systems. But again, like Gary said, they're both amazing sleds. You just got to get used to the characteristics of each of them.
And Sled Addicts Mike says Pooh still has a wicked light steering and the best gauge ever. I mean, that gauge is good. Yeah.
Well, it was funny because Jesse, the BRP was working in Quebec, so both Mike and Jesse loved it. So it was working in Quebec because they obviously Quebec's got their stuff together. Not like anyways. And the Polaris gauge, the same thing. All of the trails I had on my 7S was bang on to the Quebec trails.
Yeah.
So they work good. So, but yeah.
Yeah. No, Dominator 286. He is talking about the Polaris being the better gauge for sure. No, it's like that's saying you can't. You're splitting hairs, but I mean that I honestly think that the footwells for my riding, I don't put them up front. I don't sit like I'm in a car. I sit it with my feet underneath me. You'll see when I'm on my 600, I sit that way, and because I just want to be able to stand up right away, hop over if I need to, whatever. But here's the deal, and I said it to Corey. I'm such a freaking imposter because these people are letting me ride their snowmobiles and give an opinion, and I'm on a 2009. I'm on a 10-year-older sled than this. So who the hell am I to say what's good and bad about a brand new machine? You know what I mean? Like
it's good though to be like that. It's like Bobby, and I was saying that to the guys I was riding with in Quebec. I said, out of all the guys I watch, with regards to opinions, I respect Bobby because he's tried them all. Like literally, he's got a cat in his fleet. He rode the Polaris for a few years, and now he's got a Dew. So, and he's honest about it. You watch his videos; he'll tell you what he doesn't like about the Dew. He'll tell you what he doesn't like about the Polaris. And again, you're picking the fly shit out of the pepper. They're all amazing. They literally
you've been to that restaurant too, right?
The Polaris and the Skidoos are unreal. Like I could take one or the other, So
that's good, Rich, because I just told Mike and Jesse we're going to buy their two sleds for you and me next year. We're going to just put it on the Rev Rider 550 account.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I gotta get a hold of that account. Apparently, I haven't seen it yet.
We're billing it to the Rev Rider 550 YouTube empire. Right. So
gotta see some of that for myself.
So like I said, the Dews are awesome. Polaris is awesome. I love them both. They're both great sleds. I do love the gauge though on the Polaris. Like that's an awesome. For me, it's a game changer for riding in Quebec and Ontario. The gauges are awesome. So.
Honestly, I was hanging on so hard on the Polaris, I didn't even look at the gauge. It's the same as the 850. I didn't notice the gauge at all, one way or another. But hey, thank you, Corey Root, for not saying anything on your photo because we just talked for 20 minutes about nothing.
You guys had a lot to say about that one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that Corey Root, he's hard to get to stop talking, isn't he? Okay, so next on the list, this is how it goes, John Miller. This is how it goes.
Yeah, we get sidetracked a lot.
I'm totally freestyling with you here.
Oh, you'll love. Oh, I missed that photo from Corey. We don't know what it is anyway. So
that's his gauge showing the map.
That one actually looks really fun.
Yeah. So that's what I was rolling with pretty much 90% of the time in Quebec because you had to pay attention. Like you could just lay it to the. Like I'm sorry, we all got to make a trip to Quebec. Like we were saying, we got to go out west. And
so
Sure.
the GPS actually helps you navigate the corners because
here's a funny story. We constantly, so Jesse would be leading, Mike would be in the middle, and I was third, and we'd be hauling ass, and it'd be like, Jesse, there's a hell of a 90-degree coming up, right? Yep. I see it. We go around the corner, and Jesse blows the corner. We're making you a sign, Jesse, for that corner. But yeah, it wasn't bad. He just went off. But yeah, it was funny though, man. But that's the nice thing about riding with the gauges with that map. You literally, when you're like in Quebec, you could do $160, $170 for 20 minutes. It's straight like that, and then all of a sudden you'll come up and there'll be a 90-degree right. So it's nice to know that it'll give you a sign that, oh, there's a right coming up. But when you're hauling the mail like that, it's nice to have it on the gauge to show you. So
for sure. You guys all on comms also, like live communication devices?
Rich just got into that. I've been on it for years as well. Like, it's good. Like with my son riding, it's really like, and I always call out the turns for Drew, and it's not totally accurate with the trails, but when you ride it once, it'll drop you a line, so you can actually see, especially if you're coming home, where you got to go. So yeah, if you call out right, left, hard right, it's going to zigzag, and then where there's going to be a T, we're going to go left. Like, it totally helps. Like, we could fly with it all set. So
yeah,
enough about Corey
awesome.
Roots. Enough about Corey Root and his non his non and Michigan out loud.
You cannot hear those, by the way.
Can't hear anything.
You can't?
No.
But you did it, so it's good.
Yeah.
I know.
Give us the live sound effect.
I wonder why we can't hear that.
And communicators are the way to go, man. That is awesome because you can listen to music while you're chilling. Like you never thought, when you're cruising along, it's like, I'm gonna put the music on for a bit. It was nice, So, and just for safety too, they're awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, they didn't send me anything either, but if you watch their channel, this is just shots from their video. There's Jake giving her. I can't believe he really gets that 600 alive, man. He just gives her on it.
It's in great shape too, man.
It is. Nice. He beats on it though, so it probably won't be in good shape for long. But yeah, that was a good video they put out. Look at him there. He's doing some carving.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some wheelie action.
And
they didn't give me a thing. This is Odie the sled guy. Yeah. Odie the sled guy. He says, went by the sign today and had to take a picture of it for you.
Is that when I was riding with you, buddy?
Yeah, it is. That's where
you got a sign made up.
that's where we developed the front end rattle in the 50 edition.
That was cut our days a little short. But,
yeah. So that's on the tree awesome. that it rested against upside down. So yeah, but we're back in action. I surprised him with it. So Odie the sled guy, he says, short ride, Michael K. and I, he went Dorset and back on the weekend. He officially hit 3,000 kilometers for the season. And yes, the 99 Formula Deluxe 583 is still running strong.
Who was he riding with, Mike there?
Mike K.
Yeah.
He went for an awesome ride on the weekend before with Gary, and the old girl wasn't running the greatest. See? Put 2 new spark plug caps on it, and it's good to go. Oh, and Michael K. finally let me take the 850 E-Tech for a rip, and what a beautiful sled. So there you go.
Yeah.
So that's a shot off the Baysville Bridge there on the right. You drive over the bridge, and the snow is piled up on the sidewalk. And at the end of the year, it's just the top rail of the bridge showing. Like you've got 4 inches to go over the edge down into the river. It's pretty cool. And then that's they'll go up on Shack. We've talked lots about that and seen lots of pictures of it. But yeah, so so this is a picture with him, eh? So Jeremy, we met Jeremy. So I did a call out on Instagram for, hey, the MUDBRATS is up in Port Sydney. Meet at Ultramar at 9 a.m. or whatever, 9:30 a.m. And Odie the sled guy shows up. And he was the only one. And then we left, and I'm going, what if people think it's 9:30 Mountain or different time zone? What are we gonna do?
It's like getting the pictures in on time, right?
So yeah, exactly. So you know what? We probably left 50,000 people sitting at the gas bar waiting for us. So if anyone out there is waiting for the MUDBRATS meet and greet ride, I apologize. I was just so excited that Odie, the sled and car guy, was there. We just took off. So apologize in advance. Actually, there was a couple other sleds there I walked up to and said, hey, welcome. And I was handing out stickers, and they threw them in the garbage, and they're like, get out of here. Who are you, loser? Way to go. So anyway, we drove, and I said I wanted to go past the spot, and even Odie didn't know. Like, so we drove up, and I said, Drew, you want to hold the camera? And I gave him the camera. He goes, why? What's going on? And I pull my drill out, and he's going, what the hell are you doing, Dad? And the sign fit right in the skidoo bag on the back. It was just a total fluke. So I put it in there, and he loved it. I didn't know how he was going to take it, but he just loved it. So hopefully it'll become a thing where people can find it and do selfies and,
That's
tag
hilarious.
us on Instagram or.
You always got to mark when your buddy goes into the ditch or whatever, right? So
that's right. Well, there's Gary's Gulch going to come out then if that's the case.
I want to make a sign for Jess there in Quebec when we go back, because we know where it is.
Nice.
He knows where it is too.
Let me know. Anyway, yeah, Gary gets one called Gary's Gulch. We'll fill you in on that later.
Where's that one? Where's that?
Oh, it's up in like right behind my place. Yeah, I'll show you why.
So
in a
close
second.
to home, eh?
Yeah. We love keeping it local, right? But this is some screenshots from a video that Drew's taken, and yeah. So that was a good day. That was after we left the gas bar. I stopped with all my fans, and we did a little playground setting on Mary Lake. So the snow was deep, and I don't get the chance to do that much. Like we always get on the sleds and we ride, and you just go full bar the whole day. And it's like, it was kind of cool to stop, and we took some photos, and then it was like everybody was carving. Even Odie was carving the old 583. So what a blast.
Your last video, Gary, I meant to ask you, were you going across Sparrow Lake there when you went underneath?
No.
When you went underneath Highway 11?
No, Gull Lake. That was
Gull Lake. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So the other side of Gull Lake. Yeah.
Okay.
That was fun, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's nice.
I can't wait to do that again. That was really cool. Ride Command. It wasn't Ride Command. My phone. It was cold that day, and my phone. I put the phone charger in my bag upside down. So unbeknownst to me, it wasn't charging the phone. So my phone died, and yeah. So I don't know how to ever do that again. That's something we're going to have to just figure out. But that was the funnest part, is I cut out a lot of loss. Like, do we go there? No, we go here. Then we loop back around. We do it again. It was like, that was like ATVing on a sled. That was really cool. So check that out. It's called Lost on my channel. Excuse me. And it's all backcountry riding. So, hey, John, what do you think of that technique there? Is that good there or what?
Yeah, I was just thinking you could rotate the photo about 30 degrees and you look
Looking a little more.
That's a good idea.
That's good.
I'll slap a TOBE logo on there, and that'll be it, right?
Totally.
So,
maybe a tow rope. We could put a POW surfer behind there.
Oh, now you're talking. Let's work it out. Okay. There we go. And then there's the shack again. You think that this is the only tourist attraction we have, right? So
I know. Everyone and their mother and goat hits that place all the time. But it is a good. The trails are awesome up that way, though. So
yeah, and
is that like a bar or something?
No,
it's actually just a warm-up shelter type thing. I don't even know if you call it a warm-up shelter. It's just a shelter that you can stop and look, and they got maps in the back, and you can take a look where you are. So. But great location.
Fire pit in the middle. There's a big fire pit in the middle, but it's cool. So every time I go, there's never a fire. And then
I've never seen it go in there in all my years. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Odie, I go, that's it. This is the last time I'm coming here. And he goes, why? And I go, because there's never a fire. It's like this beautiful fire pit. And what does Odie do? He goes and lights me a fire. So we sat there, and it was great because we met a lot of people too. There's a family. That was family days. So there was rental sleds coming in like crazy.
Oh,
and there was
was it busy on the trails?
No, it actually wasn't too bad. I was expecting to be a lot worse.
Okay.
Yeah, I was actually, from my first ride this year where I was ready to retire from the sport because it was so damn busy. Even yesterday on the trails, it wasn't busy at all. And that was local trails. Like, so
Yep.
yeah, my faith is back in humanity now again. But yeah,
Just stay
Odie was
off the
awesome.
trails. Yeah.
Odie goes, just hang on, and he's gone. And you hear him cracking sticks in the bush, and then he comes back, and I had a roll of toilet paper in my bag, and so I gave him some toilet paper. He lit me a fire, and yeah, we sat there and shot the breeze and talked BS for a while, and then had a great ride. So yeah,
Nice.
So this is from NASA. They sent me this saying they got a ping on my phone. And what a beautiful shot of snowmobiling, eh?
Wicked.
And then they sent me the zoom in shot. And you know how Odie was saying about his sled being running so great. Well, you know, it looks like he might be getting his lunch out of his backpack there, or you know, he's
Or
got
the
the hood up.
toolkit.
He's got the hood up, but this is how Odie is at his best right there. He's, you know,
Yeah.
he's just checking out things under the hood there, and
Tuning's in great shape though,
Yeah.
man.
he says,
Man,
he
NASA
says, you know
has
what?
some really detailed cameras.
They do, don't they? Yeah. And you know what? He said, you know, my spark plug caps are faulty. I said, some asshole on YouTube's got a video showing you how to replace those. And we called up the MUDBRATS channel, and he watched it. And then he thought, you know what? I said, I'll go back and get some scissors. We were about 2 kilometers from the cabin. I'll go back and get some scissors, and I'll come back and we'll fix it up, because we had no utensils on the machines. And he thought, you know what? While I'm here, I'll just take my cell phone and throw it deep in the bush. And then we don't have to worry about all those pictures and videos I took of us earlier that day. So, yeah, so he lost his cell phone in the process. So I don't know what happened. I feel bad for him. You know, he had a rough day that day, but, you know, thanks to MUDBRATS, he actually was able to fix his sled for good, you know, because they've been putting spark plugs in it for 3 years since Mike Kay said, you know what, just put spark plugs in it. So he carries about 6 pairs of spark plugs, and now he doesn't have to anymore.
Solid.
Very good.
Yeah.
Fix the situation.
Do you do any wrenching yourself there, John?
I can replace suspension parts, or you know, add some like brake lever, or, you know, like easy stuff. I don't like to tear into motors though.
No, not on the side of the trail, right?
Yeah. Oh, Odie would do this in the mountain for you if you take him riding with you, John. He may be your guy. You know.
I like to keep my sled somewhat new, because you don't want to get stranded out there, you know. So
no, you don't. You don't. Now, Bruce Stewart says NASA's out there looking for COVID-19 rule breakers. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, we're all guilty of that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh,
it's kind of funny when I'm in the backcountry. There's no COVID-19.
That's
just,
right. Well, and you did, John, didn't you know 2-stroke kills COVID, right? So.
It does. The last, so I've ridden 5 days in a row. I did ride today at lunch, but it was only like 50 feet, maybe 100, 200 feet. But I was having some issues with Roscoe and steering and stuff, and I actually put him into a gulch last time we were in Muskoka, and then I rode 5 days in a row after it here on these trails. Now that's a road that we're on under the bridge there, and then here we are waiting for a train, and that's all brand new Toyotas in those train cars. So that's from the Toyota plant. So we were stuck there for about 15 minutes while they shunted. But you know, so I thought, you know what, I've got to get my bite harder out and tune up my carbides. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to take the carbide off and I'll put new ones on in place. But this is my carbide here. I'm going to tune this one up with the carbide.
Plenty of life left.
Oh, yeah. Look at the carbide in the front of that. You got a lot.
It's perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So
that's insane.
Isn't that awesome? But that's and that's the left ski. So that's what rides on the road most of the time. But
yeah,
you know, that was a good used carbide at the beginning of the season.
Yep.
So I was telling Corey Brock, the last time I bought carbides was brand new is probably 15, 20 years ago.
Really?
My buddy Dino gave me a box of his. I always get his hand-me-downs. He replaces carbides like 3 times a season.
Crazy.
So I get his I get his
whatever, man. If they
yeah,
still
I
work,
get
why
his,
not?
hey, he replaces them and they're like new. So
Yeah.
it's like, well, they're not like new. They're maybe 50%, but this is actually one of Muskoka Mike's carbides. I bought 2 pairs from him when he bought the Yamaha. He said, I got 2 pairs of Skidoo carbides new in the package, and I bought them for $50 or whatever from him. And then when he brought them over to my place, he said, oh, I've got 4 of these old ones and they're still really good shape. So he gave me those, and that's, believe it or not, Muskoka Mike, that's one of your 4 that you gave me. So I want my money back. That's faulty.
Of course you do.
For a used carbide, the frugal doer wants his money back. Yeah.
Actually, I ordered the gripper skis from Polaris. I'm waiting for them to come in. They're on back order till March.
Right on.
Got to change them up. Hey, Bobby, apparently they make a world of difference. Everyone's telling me as a player, so like, get rid of those ones.
Should be a wicked upgrade, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to trying that. So
sucks so much stuff's on back order. My buddy who had the roller issue, he went to the dealer in Old Forge, and the rollers are back ordered right now. So
wow, that sucks, man.
Seems to be the theme this season,
right?
Oh, there's just so many people.
Now, is there aftermarket rollers for those guys? There has to be, right? Like
there is. He's just worried because he's gonna have it done at a dealer that they might not put him in for him. But I mean, I told him to ask, get him back on the trail sooner. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Take him to Shag Boys. Their buddy Gary has all the tools. They can put him in for him.
Yeah.
So
this guy, man, he's sucking up all the data here, with all these photos. Huh?
All right.
Now, did he say where this is? Gary, did the MUDBRATS guy say where this is, or?
Yeah, he's a jerk. He never puts anything. Actually, MUDBRATS is worse. It's verbal diarrhea. So this is the homestead. This is the homestead restaurant yesterday. But the yesterday was an awesome ride, and that's the yellow sled I was riding yesterday. And then we had Mark, who's the 40-year-old virgin with the 850 Renegade from last year, and Corey and his buddy Mike. So we had a great day. It started out bad. Like it started out like, well, first of all, I left early thinking, I'll get to the trails like at 8:00 because we were supposed to meet at 8:30, and then I'll be all ready. So I started leaving, and then I realized, you know what? I don't think I have my camera. So I pull over and I don't have my camera. I don't have my case to hold my map. I don't have anything. So I swung around and went back and grabbed it. And by the time I got there, everybody was there. And my buddy Paul met us there as well. And everybody was there, dressed, sleds running. So I was rushed getting everything together. And I go and we go out for a trail ride. And of course, Corey's gone, Mark's gone, Mike's gone, and Paul is kind of ahead of me because I was last. So I knew I'd catch up to Paul. So I caught Paul, and I didn't have my cord or my oxygen. I left it in the truck, and the oxygen, it was minus 20 Celsius yesterday. So what's that? -8, -7 Fahrenheit, I think.
Could be.
And anyway, it was cold.
Could be. I love it. Yeah, I know.
Whatever you say.
Well, you search it for
cold.
me. Search it up, Bobby. Find it out. It was bloody cold.
You could freeze the balls off a brass monkey. Put it that way. It was.
You
cold.
could, exactly.
Yep.
And anyway, so I said, Paul, you got to go catch these guys, and because I can't ride. Like I almost rear-ended him. I almost blew an intersection and go right.
Why does it not work? Does it fog up those helmets without the
well,
cord?
if it's that cold, it ices up. But on the way back, I was riding in the sun. It was okay. When I was riding away from the sun, you couldn't see anything. So I went back to the truck, got it, and as soon as I was hammering on the way there and the way back, because I thought those guys won't be stopping. They're going to be at the homestead, and I won't even have left the truck. And then so I get there, like I'm just giving her, and then it's like I just told Paul to go find them, stop them if he can. So I finally catch up to them, and I pull up, and Corey says, "You got your cord?" And I said, "Yeah, but I got some bad news for you." And he goes, "What's that?" And I said, "I blew the clutch out on the way back here." He goes, "What?" And I go, "Arr," and the rollers blew out. So it's like, what are you going to do? I go, well, I can ride it. Like we were already 40 minutes into the ride. And then he goes, just go back and get the other sled and we'll come back with you. At least we're riding. So we did. we looped back. And once I got on Old Yellow, the day was great. So, but that's the last time they're ever going to ride with me, just because of all my technologically challenged issues. And
those oxygen helmets are awesome too. Like when we were whipping in Quebec, like, you know, you got to keep a distance. The snow dust was ridiculous when you're getting over $140, $160. But when Mike was in front of me, I could see that light, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm on his butt." Like we were. It was enough that I could see where he was, because without those, like when we switched it up and someone else got in front of me, it was like, forget it. That's a death wish. You're, you know, trying to follow where you can't see anything. So, you know, you back off. But whenever Mike or Jesse were in front of me with that oxygen helmet with that bright light on the back of the helmet, they work great.
Mike and Jesse, I just want to say thank you, guys. You have turned Rich into a Ski-Doo lover and an oxygen lover. Like,
settle down there,
drugged him with. I don't know what you drugged him with, but this is great.
I'll give the prop. Why don't we talk about the drag race on the lakes? Let's get them. You went over that quickly. Let's talk about that.
Let's cover that off. I was mad. I was so mad. So Rich and Jesse and Mike had a drag race on the lake. Polaris Assault versus 2 Ski-Doo 850 E-Techs. And I was so upset about Rich and about Mike and Jesse that they actually were feeling so bad about Rich being the new guy on the ride, they let him win. And I was like,
okay,
guys, you can't do that, you know? I was like, can't you hit his kill switch or something? Like, you know, you can't let him win. Yeah. So go ahead. Let's hear your side of the story, whether it's wrong or right, Rich. Like,
no, it was good. I won every race, so it was good.
Yeah.
And you know what? Bring Mike on. He'll tell you it wasn't even close. I'll be honest with you. Like no, it was
like five sled lengths. So.
5 to 7 sled lengths, man. Every time we lined up.
Did you get him out of the hole and all the way through?
The whole way through, Bobby. It wasn't even close. They couldn't reel me in. It was.
Yeah, Jesse.
But you know what, though, guys? You got to remember this too. And this is where I'm honest with it. It was bitterly cold. Mind you, the Ski-Doo should have ran the same too. Like our first day we left, it was -40, and then it was -27, -30. Like we had cold days. And that Polaris, it's funny, on our first day when we left, when it was -40, I had about 800 kilometers on the sled, and about 200 kilometers in on our first day, all of a sudden I felt the sled wake up. It's like, oh, she's out of braking mode. So it was nice. No, the sled ran great. They're awesome, man. Like it's a that's why I like Bobby, you own them. Like the Polaris is a fast sled, man. Like they're like I said, the skis are in the air. And I know talking to Andrew, he had the 900 turbo, or the 900 4-stroke Ski-Doo. And he said that when I was falling behind him, he goes, every time I looked in my mirror, all I saw you, Rich, and your skis were in the air. You know? Because you just get, like, when you get on it, man, it's one of those things. You either like it or you don't. Like the uncoupled suspension's crazy. No, they're fast sleds. But again, the Doos are amazing too, right? So the rear suspension on those Doos are unreal. They are good.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Even Mike and Jesse says it didn't hold a candle. He was miles ahead. And SledX says, that's Mike, says, not even close.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Jesse says it's uncoupled. That's our drinking game, is every time Rich says uncoupled, you got to take a shot.
So, anyways, but it was good fun.
We were listening to the podcast up Snowmobile, and Corey and I were so drunk we couldn't ride.
Well, I got to make a shout out to those guys, those 4 guys. So Jesse, Mike, Costa, and Andrew. Honestly, you want to talk about diehard snowmobilers. What crazy asses are leaving at 8 in the morning and it's -40? Like, guys, it was cold. That was the coldest I've ever ridden. Those 4 days were the coldest days I've ever ridden, and it was amazing. We had a hoot. Like, great bunch of guys, diehards.
That's awesome.
Like, crazy. Like they're channel sled addicts. It sums them up. They're we had a
Jesse said Jesse's mad at you because you wouldn't let him ride, so he can't give an opinion.
we were swapping off. So I swapped off with Mike and all. Then when you start getting into the day, either at the beginning or the end, you're like, I just want to ride my sled right now. Jesse, you'll ride it. It's anyways, but. We'll swatch off.
Well, it kind of sucks for you, Rich, because if you rode Mike's, it's pretty similar to Jesse.
It is, and it was, and it's like, I've been there, done that. I got the T-shirt. I want to ride my sled still, but that's a good point, and that was the thing too.
But Jesse's got new shocks.
At the end of the trip, I thought,
shocks on his.
True.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
fresh.
Yeah, they are good. But yeah, no, great bunch of guys though, man. Like I said, hands down my best snowmobile trip in 25 years with those guys. That we had a good time. We had a good time, man.
Very
Good.
cool.
And diehard slider, like like you're putting on 360 kilometers a day in minus 40 and minus 30 temperatures. No one whined, no one complained. We stopped, we had fun, we were laughing. Yeah.
That's
It was a
awesome.
great trip. Yeah, it was good. Just over 1,300 kilometers in 4 days. So it was a great trip.
What do you have for the
Bobby.
season?
I'm at about 2,400 kilometers now, Bobby. So I went from I'm up there pretty good now. Well, not up there. This time last year, I probably had about we're in the February, March. This time last year, I had over probably 4,000 kilometers. So I'm well behind, but the season's been stupid, right?
Still doing good though. I mean, that's
well,
that's a
and
solid number.
we're planning on going back the end of March, so to Quebec with these 4 other crazy guys. So
nice.
we're gonna put on some more kilometers. So I imagine, and then I'm hopefully get out locally. I put on 140 kilometers on Friday in the afternoon, which was great. Like I was saying to Gary, I haven't ridden my local trails in over 25 years because it's shit down here. They literally get maybe, if they're lucky, they get 2 weeks of riding if they're lucky. And the trails were amazing. And I got to give a shout out to Port Perry Snowmobile Club. Their trails were amazing. I texted the guy on Facebook. He's like, yep, trails are good. Come park at the clubhouse. I did that, unloaded, and rode from Port Perry up to Lindsay and back. And trails were amazing. And I got a video. I've got a bunch of videos. I know everyone thinks I'm rich indoors right now, but I got a ton in the bank. I just got to get around to editing. You know what? I think I get to the point where I might just hire someone to just put my videos together for me because it's just
a really good idea.
I mean, people enjoy it, but you know what? I've got a ton of content coming. I haven't got around to it. And you know what? I'll get around to it when I get around to it. So
No,
I have a 1 terabyte drive sitting here with GoPro videos galore from the last 10 years. And maybe I'll pull out a little 15-second clip of, one ride and then I forget about the rest.
All right. It's like Gary and Bobby and all the other guys like Jess and Mike, like they're putting out. And I was saying that to Jess, it was funny because our GoPros did I got one good solid day where I got good video. And then Jess was like warming up and changing. And I'm like, you know what? I'm here to ride. I don't care about my YouTube channel right now. Like seriously. And it's bad, right?
But
I was like, no.
Part,
But Mike and Jess, and sometimes Mike would be like, back off, Jess, I just want to ride. Those guys are diehard, and they got a good channel, man. That's hence why Jess has got he's already got all his 4 trips. I got 1 day. Jess and Mike got 4. So that tells you something.
Day 1, 2, 3, and 4 already done and on the schedule. LOL.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you'll see my Quebec trip in June.
There you go.
Well, that's where I am. I don't promise anybody anything. So you just put it out when you can,
Exactly.
I put out the easiest ones first, like the ones that you don't have to edit much and just go. But that's cool.
Yeah.
So enough
I just
about
call
you.
it sacred. If I don't have a video recording, it's sacred.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So
I'm watching Gary and Bobby just dropping videos left, right, and center and sled addicts, and I'm like, oh, this is bad.
I'm not dropping videos left, right, and center. It is
what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
No.
Like I said, I got a ton in the bank, and I'll when I get around to it, and maybe hire an assistant or something. I don't know.
Ooh, you must be on the sled addicts budget.
No, actually, no. Yeah. Oh well.
So,
anyways,
I might be blowing it here, but the Maureen Maxween, she's been a fan for a while. She sent me a picture, and you know how Bobby tries to keep his spring orders secret, and I see the sled axe is trying to keep their spring orders secret, and well, my spring order, the cat's out of the bag. Oh, this isn't it. I don't know what's coming up, but my spring order's coming up, and you'll see it, and it's the new Mac, so it's out of the bag. So we're gonna do it. But this is the first time I've been at a restaurant with my buddies on a snowmobile trip in a long time, and what a great time that was, just to sit and rest and away you go. But
I took that, man. Who would have ever thought that, Gary?
I know.
During COVID,
awesome.
you'd be in a restaurant. That's awesome,
was
man. And you got the great one. Sorry, number 4 Bobby Orr in the
That
background.
is a great one. That is
Yeah.
the great one's number 99 there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. They had a Wayne Gretzky picture just above
Yeah.
Corey's head there. That's Corey
Yeah.
right here. I'll pick his nose for you guys. And that's Paul beside him there. And then we got Mike. Mike's watching the Leafs game tonight. He wouldn't watch the show. And that's Mark, the 4-year-old virgin there. And then that's me holding the camera. So yeah, so we're socially distancing there to some degree.
Sure.
So it was kind of good to have a bite to eat, and that was awesome. So and that's a great spot. That's the homestead. So,
and where was that, Gary? Just around
that's
where
in
you are.
Durham.
Right? Okay,
that's in Durham.
Right on.
Yeah,
right on.
So
Nice.
It's actually a good run there.
Nice.
It's a good day
Nice
ride
wrap.
from. Yeah, that's Tony Cat, man. He's awesome.
Oh yeah, that thing's
Yeah,
a beast. He
seen
says
it.
that it beats his dad's 850. He's got it all built up.
Does he? Yeah.
Oh
Right on.
yeah. Well, this is what it's about, Bobby. Listen to this. He says, "Hey guys, hope all is well. Figured I'd send you some photos of my recent events. You can use whatever ones you want if you have space." Oh crap! I used them all. I went to Dynotech Research. I did. I didn't know I could choose and not show some of them. Sorry. I went to Dynotech Research Facility to get my sled on the dyno. This is the same location all manufacturers send their sleds to for non-biased dyno numbers. It is true. For sure, Dynotech is the place. Jim did an amazing job and fine-tuned my engine. Just under 180 horsepower on bar pump gas.
Wow.
Isn't that
Nice.
awesome?
Thing must just haul the mail.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
180
That's a
pounds.
wicked wrap, man. Nice wrap, Tony. That's awesome.
Oh, it's cool from the
wicked.
front, man. After the dyno, I took a few trips to Old Ford. Some pics attached to the trip. It was cold as hell, -8 Fahrenheit. And what's -8, Bobby? I already told you.
Even farther than -20, because -20 is -4 Fahrenheit.
Oh, there you go. That's still cool.
Minus
man.
22. It's -22.23 to be exact.
Oh, wow.
And where
There
does
it
it?
is.
Where do
You're
they
correct.
meet? Where do they both meet? It's -40, isn't it?
32. It's 32
32. There you
degrees.
go.
Yep.
Oh, see, I
I
thought it was
wasn't paying
-40
attention to
also.
science
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
I
it?
thought
Oh, it is
-40.
Sorry, it is -40.
Yeah, there you go, Gary.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yes,
he thought he knew it
Zero-
all.
zero- no, I
Bobby.
don't. I don't. I already told you I'm an imposter. I already told you I'm an
As long as
imposter.
you seem confident, that's all that matters.
Mhm. Donald Trump did it. He had you guys fooled for years.
Ooh.
So,
Sensitive.
There go all the MUDBRATS
Yeah.
viewers.
well, Sled Addicts have retracted a message
Everybody's
already.
going to be on unsubscribing on the MUDBRATS channel. That's too
Would
funny.
you stop? Everybody already has. So there you go. Yeah.
Come on, I'm
Anyway.
stuck at 261. Get me up to 1,000, everybody. Come on.
Yeah.
I got 3 videos out. Come on. Give me some
Exactly.
love.
Why isn't my channel growing? Lastly, I sent an email 8 months ago. Oh, I won't read that one. So after the dyno, he took a few trips to Old Ford. Some pics attached. The trip was cold as hell. He's gonna send me a patches of his military and police patches. So he says this is something members of the military and law enforcement do to show their appreciation. So I really appreciate that. I'll love to get that.
That's awesome, Tony. Thanks, buddy.
Keep up thank you so much. Keep up the great content. I've not missed an episode yet. Ride safe and ride right.
Awesome.
And he says that, and then he says that Polaris Assault, there's Old Forge. It's funny because you watch so many videos and Jesse James 322 is there. Like you get to recognize these places now, right? So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. This is
Same with Bobby's channels. I always recognize. I'm like, oh, I remember Bobby was up that way. With the
Oh yeah.
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 Well,
I
Bobby,
think that's
where's
Pete's
this?
Peak, right? Pete's Peak. Oh yeah.
Ding 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 ding. Winner chicken dinner. Pete's Peak
yeah.
day and Pete's Peak night.
Nice.
Oh, sorry. This is Pete's Peak day and night there. Sorry.
Okay.
I duplicated the slides. So we're good. It's still the same. You're right.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
it.
one's a
nailed
Bluebird
it.
day, right?
Hmm.
Nice.
Have you been there, Bobby? Like, do you ride?
Oh,
Pete's Peak at all?
usually once a season at least. I don't think I've been this season though. This weekend we actually had an Airbnb and it was kind of up that way, but that trail gets so molded out because pretty much the only thing up there is this Pete's Peak. So people go up there to hit the Pete's Peak, and other than that, the groomers have no reason to touch it. So it's not often that trail's very good. But
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it's a wicked lookout. So
It is. You get up there this year and send us some pictures. So
absolutely.
all right.
That's actually where the picture behind me is taken.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
Josh took
listen,
that one.
it's good to see your dad out riding too again, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're getting him out there, making the best of it.
I totally enjoy. It makes me smile. You know, like I love it. You know,
He loves hearing that, so that's great.
Mm.
He was a little
Next-
disappointed in his top speed this last week on the Riot, but it happens.
Yeah. Like you said, you can't go by gauges, right? I can't
You
believe
can't.
how much more accurate the actual Arctic Cat gauge is compared to the Dew gauge, though.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah, I was amazed by that.
Yeah.
And I think on a better run, the Arctic Cat could have been closer. I just, for some reason that day, it wasn't getting much for top speed. It was backfiring
amazing.
pretty good all day.
Well, it's amazing what snowpack makes too, right?
Yeah,
And that's what I was telling Drew. Like Drew goes, okay, I didn't get 100 miles an hour or whatever it was, or 155 or whatever. And I'm going like, I was only doing like 150 or whatever. Like you're not. Some days you just don't get it, right? It's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
you could be on glare ice and not hit your top speed.
Yeah.
So
It's got to all come together.
It's nice to see. We'll ride. Tell them I'll ride with them next year.
Oh yeah,
We'll
we're
be-
planning
we'll
on
be-
it.
We'll be the two old guys in the back holding up the rear. You know, not
Heck
holding
yeah.
up the rear, holding up the rear.
Looking out for the group. That's what you're doing.
You know,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that over beers, but you know. So. What's Tony Cat saying? Oh yeah, so there's a picture of him on the left there, looking good. He sent me what lake that was on, but I didn't copy that over. Sorry.
Fourth Lake.
Seriously, you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably know. You can tell from that island right there, Bobby, can't you?
Oh
Right?
yeah.
And then
Yep.
he says Rich Outdoors sled's starting to really grow on him. So there it is right there. Rich, when did you get the red spindles in the bumper?
Kind of looks pink, but yeah, could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
No, they're red. Yeah, it's just.
I know. I'm just kidding. It's the way they're
Yeah.
blowing up. Yeah.
And he said, giving the 850 some love at an undisclosed off trail location.
That's awesome. That's a
that,
wicked wrap, man.
That's that
It
honey
is.
hole that you were talking about, Gary. When I posted that to my Instagram story, same spot.
Right on, perfect.
Yeah.
And he said the players' assaults were starting to grow on me. Answer this, chat. Is it almost time to get rid of the cat? Time will tell.
You know what? Yeah. So, yeah. Apparently, I know this is, so I was
You're really
talking to a guy-
contemplating this here.
I was talking to a fella who has some help, and they're working on. Apparently, they're working on a really amazing chassis between the two. So that's what I was
sweet.
told. So
Between Yamaha and cat.
Yep. So it's
Nice.
coming, Bobby. Like you and I were talking about it. It's coming. So
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll just be really, really disappointed if it's not this year.
you know what, Bobby? I don't think it will, but for sure next year.
I actually
what I
said
was
this. I said in one of my videos that's going to be coming out. Like, it makes sense why all the manufacturers would wait this year to release big stuff, because sleds are selling like hotcakes. They don't really need to incentivize people to buy them. They're already selling. But I just think if Cat made themselves stand out this year, it'd be really good for them. You know, the Matrix had its moment last year. Looks like Dew. They brought Lynx out, but other than that, the Skidoo lineup a little more conservative. It could be a good year for Cat, but maybe 2023.
What I was told is COVID threw a huge thing into it when they were tweaking things. So and the tooling stuff, and it laid havoc on them for getting it completed. From what I was told, whether that's
supply chains are down everywhere too.
Well, and that's exactly what it was, and it threw a wrench into it. So I'm hoping for the Cat and Yamaha faith that it'll be next year for sure too. So
Plus in the middle,
from what I was
plus in the-
told, it's going to be a stupid light 4-stroke. So
nice
4-stroke.
Yeah.
Yep. Like
Plus, in the middle of all the COVID rush to order everything, they weren't allowed to sell anything, which is kind of crappy.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Obviously because of Lynx,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We know that
Didn't-
now.
Who
yeah.
called that? Who called it? I called it.
People have been calling that for 25 years. Like, you
Yeah.
even heard the president on there. He's like, I've been wanting this for how long? 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, so. Yeah.
But did you
Joe
see
Biden said that?
they had to license Boondocker, the name for the Lynx Boondocker, from Boondocker Turbos? Like, they had to license the name.
No way.
Because over here they own the rights to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
WD4 Ed says it's always time to get rid of a cat. Oh, don't say that. You know what? What would he change his name to though? He'd be Tony Polaris. That wouldn't work. Tony is
Doesn't have the same ring to it.
Ooh, Assault Tony would work because he's military police. You know,
Yeah.
that would work.
Yeah.
So hey, maybe there's something there. Maybe
Oh,
stick it out for a year from what Rich. If what Rich is saying is true, you can maybe stick it out for a year and see what happens. There it is. There's a Frugal Doers Mac.
Look at that.
2022.
Three-wheeler
Isn't that
with us.
awesome?
It looks like it needs a wheelie bar.
Yeah.
Right.
It
Or
probably
some ape
does.
hangers on top.
John, would you take that in the mountains? Come on, be honest.
I mean, no.
It would be awesome. Like look at the chainsaw holder on the front fender there. It's wicked, man. You got ropes. That thing is a beast. That's what the Frugal Doer is going to be riding in next fall.
It looks like a rear end off of an old Chevy pickup.
Yeah, it probably is.
Marine
Yeah.
McSween. Right on.
I love how the little it's got the gas cap that holds the little saddlebags on the over the gas tank. That's sweet. Yeah, I can't wait to ride it. That'll be. I was going to do a reveal and wrap it in gift wrap, and maybe I can get Deviant Inc. to sponsor me, and we'll do a big wrap on this thing.
Is that
There
a
you go.
special chainsaw link bracket on the front there on the fender there?
Chainsaw.
Right.
There's nothing link about it, but it's a chainsaw.
Yeah.
It's
I would
probably
run the
welded right-
chainsaw thing on my sled for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is a good idea. That chainsaw bracket's probably welded right to the headlight shroud. Gary and Bobby, I know a handful of guys with blown clutches or track drivers, and they're being told at least 3 weeks here in Michigan. Is this happening everywhere? Yes, it
Gotta
is.
be. The supply chain's screwed, man.
Yeah.
They're still backed up. It's going to take 8 months to a year to catch up.
Yeah, that's why I think everybody should sell me their sled cheap. And sled addicts, you better let those go. Like $5,000, for 2021 with a gauge that doesn't work. Like that's a good deal. Take it.
These
Jesse.
days, that 3-wheeler would sell for $5,000.
Well, right now,
It
the way
would.
COVID pricing, yes, you're right.
Yeah, for sure.
I swear, people are selling trailing arm sleds over here for $3,000.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah,
There's Slowbie sled.
but
I love that color, man.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Like there is good deals to be had. Right now, I've been looking, and there's actually some really good deals right now on Gen 4s that are low miles and low price. And then now with everybody trying to dump their 2021s to get 2022s, you see a ton of them out there. It's only going to be a matter where demand and supply cross, and they're going to have to start blowing them out if they want to get rid of them. So I'm going to sit and wait and see. I'll get my 2021 in 10 years.
There you go.
when they're $5,000. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But I was frustrated yesterday with the breakdowns and then everything else. So it's just crazy. But we'll see what happens.
Even the new stuff's breaking down, bud. So it happens.
Slowbee's probably due for a new sled. So when he comes up to ride with us, and we'll go to Fanny's and we'll ink out a deal.
Doing Fanny's, ply him full of beer at Fanny's.
I'll buy him a round of beer and I'll give him $5,000 and I'll be riding this.
And then he'll ride away with Roscoe and you'll take his, right?
No, Roscoe's not going anywhere.
Oh no.
No, Roscoe's awesome. Yeah, he's a keeper. It's the other one that's gonna be up for grabs. So, Gary, wait until all this dies down and no more Serb dollars. You will score an $850 for nothing. I agree for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Slowbee says he's in. Fanny's it is. Man, it's so funny.
We'll take
that this
Bobby and his
show-
dad by there too. It's a great establishment. Very
Exactly. Very
high
high
class,
end.
Bobby.
Yeah.
Family
Very high
friendly.
class.
No, I was just gonna say you don't get to see the personality of people, John. Like I know you said you don't watch a lot of YouTube videos, but like it's kind of a community. Like a lot of the guys on here, like Slow B and Sled Addicts, and and who else did I say? We've had Mark Bow on here, and we're all YouTube creators, right? And you don't get to see them on screen in their videos, but you don't get their personalities. And you never would have thought, like Slow B was on just in the chat, just riffing everything, and it was just awesome that it's like, dude, we got to hang out. It's like you don't get that for videos because you're trying to be all in the up and up, and it's like, and now you're on here and you're just shooting the breeze, and that's the best part about this show is that it lets you get to know people too. So.
Well, then go do a trip with them, and then you get to know people even more. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of Facebook video that I've done some podcasts like this on Facebook.
Right on.
Yeah.
And sorry, John, we'll hurry up and get to you, man. We're hogging up all this time, man. We'll get through it, buddy.
We won't actually get to him. Oh, sorry, we're an hour. We got to end the show. Oh, wait a minute. Slowby sent me a verbiage to this. So he says, hey, what's up? What is up, fellas? I have not sent photos in a while. I'm creeping up on 1,000 subs on YouTube. That's awesome. Go to Slowby's channel, subscribe, guys. Let's get there.
Yeah, I was watching him today, and he said he's just shy of that when he was ranking his buddies 900 do. Yeah. So hopefully you'll get there by the end of the show.
Yeah, we're just gonna wait. When you see him hit 1,000, we'll continue.
Yeah, we're just gonna wait. But that color, so I just said to him in the chat, that is my favorite color from Dew. I'm sorry, I know it's not the yellow, but that, and I said that to Jean-Luc when he was on. I'm like, I love that color.
Yeah, you did.
It's awesome.
There's a beer being cracked. Who did that? That's
not
awesome.
Me. I got none left. I already did my second here, so.
Oh, jeez, come on.
Mine are empty.
Yeah. So he says these are all photos from recent videos or videos I have not been able to edit yet. The trails are simply amazing. I have about 700 miles this season and can say only about 30 of them are moguls. I would like to shout out all the Redfield Snowmobile Association for doing an amazing job. All the other local clubs are killing it out there too. There really is no storyline to my photos. It's been so much fun spending time on the trails with my dad and my friends and sometimes their kids. We all are so lucky to be able to be part of this sport. The camaraderie is like no other. I hope you all have a safe and amazing season. Ride safe, ride right. Hey, that's awesome. That's what Tony Cat said too. So that's cool. Yeah, ride to the right as well, guys.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I've seen it everywhere, even in Quebec and in Ontario. Yeah. It's really it's a thing. Yeah. We were talking about that when we were riding in Quebec because it's so vast and open. And we were thinking, and I know a couple of times Jess and Mike ride, and when you come across a sled in Quebec, you're like, oh my God, there's someone else snowmobiling out here. And you come around a corner, because you're hauling out, and it's like, when you're turning left, you tend to both be, when you're turning left, the other guy's turning left, you tend to be, that's the one where it's hard where you don't get over properly. You know what I mean? When you're hugging right,
it's pushing the turns though, eh?
Yeah. No, those are the ones that are on the rails. It's the screws that are always on the wrong side of the trail.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is why the skidoos are there. They got these on them. That's the problem with riding trails fast. No, I'm just kidding. All kidding aside.
But you forget, right? And that's when you see those signs. It's like when it's human nature. You're out there riding. You're having fun. I mean, no one wants to get into a wreck, but it's something you always think of after you come around a corner going fast. You're like, yeah, I probably could have been a little bit more over to the right.
And we've had a really go ahead, Gary.
You go ahead. I did.
I was gonna say we've got a really big push around here for no more hand signals. It's kind of interesting.
I really see it on Facebook. It's like because people can't control their sleds as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's
yeah,
great.
on a tight trail, Bobby. I gotta admit, there's some times where someone's like, he's telling me his buddy's behind me, when meanwhile I can see his 3 buddies. It's like, pal, put your hands on the handlebars and hold on, because I can
Yeah.
see your buddies. So it's a tough call, man. Like when you're far ahead of your buddy and you know you can't see him, by all means, let me know there's a guy around the corner. But when you're third and I can see your 2 buddies behind you, you don't need to let me know they're there. I can see them, right? So
there's a product that's out there that's actually lights on your hood, and they actually light up. So it's green is like there's I don't know if it's green, amber, red, but the last guy has green and the other guys have red on their thing, and just it's almost like the NAR Pro. You just hit the button and it changes what it is, so you know who's last in line.
Yeah.
oh, that's cool.
Which
We have them around here. They're amber if you have someone behind you, and if you don't, then they're green.
That's what it is, amber and green. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really simple, and I think that's a great idea because it can be triggered with your thumb, and you're good to go. So
Yeah.
but
Not a bad idea.
we were just talking about that yesterday, Rich. With where you're going to meet someone is on a corner.
Yeah, and you're telling me that the guy's behind you, right? And then you hit the guy for sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
No, that's
so
true.
I don't know.
That's
I get it.
interesting.
I seen that, Bobby. I totally did. Like there was a Facebook post saying, "Do not do it. You guys can't." And that's the rule: is you're supposed to give hand signals unless you can't control your machine.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
I often don't. Like Rich said, is if I'm second and my first guy's giving the fingers up, then I don't bother. You know, or else I do this. Like I do a lot of like just people behind me, right? So
Yeah.
Well, Gary, you and I were talking that the one time we went out together. We were like, you don't need to tell me that there's someone behind you when I can see him, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have. Like I just
No,
like
it is for sure. Well, especially when you're spread out. It's nice to know when you're coming around a corner, okay, is there another 1 or 2 guys in this group that's coming around, so that you can, kind of evade.
Yeah.
Like I love Bobby's video. That was hilarious, man. And I text him right after. The guy comes around the corner, he pops up the clown face.
Yeah, that's right.
He was literally on the side of his buddy. Like he couldn't. He had to hit the brakes, then move over because he was next to his buddy on my side of the trail. It was ridiculous.
Bobby, that was classic, man.
Yeah.
I texted Bobby. I'm like, that was awesome.
A donkey's butt up there instead. Yeah.
That was the day from hell, that ride.
Yeah. And that's the problem with. Was that a weekend too? Was that a weekend?
Yeah, that was. Other than this weekend, that was probably the second most busy weekend we've had. This weekend was freaking mobbed. I couldn't believe it. At one point, we were at this like really big intersection that's between 3 different areas, and there must have been, I'm not kidding, 20 sleds stopped, and it wasn't even really a big intersection. They were lining the sides of the trails and just absolutely everywhere. It was crazy.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Like, did you see a lot of people up in the mountains there, John?
Yeah, in the more popular areas like Rabbit Ears or Vail Pass or whatever. I'm into the social distancing these days. I like to get as far away from the crowds as possible.
How do you find zones? Like, how do you find, like, do you go by yourself or do you always, I guess not, but do you go with small group or do you go like?
Yeah, I'd say the most ideal amount of people is 3 or 4 people. And similar in skill or objectives. Some guys are just out there trying to hill climb or, get into some like crazy terrain. Other people just want to, make turns in the meadow. So, I ride with a lot of different people, different styles of riding. And then there's skiers, snowboarders that use their sleds as well. So that'll be a different type of dynamic with the group.
Yeah. Have you seen that snowboarder that actually rides his sled up to the top and then lets it go down and he snowboards beside it the whole way?
Ghost ride the whip.
I've never seen
Ghost
that.
riding the whip. Oh, dude, Rich, you got to check
like
it out.
Alaska.
Oh yeah, I got to see that.
BC or Alaska, or there's some areas here in Colorado above timberline. You need terrain that has a nice funnel to it with like a catcher's mitt in the terrain, so you can let the sled go and it kind of runs out, and you can ride alongside. There's a video of Chris Brown, actually, if you know Brown from Polaris, snowmobile athlete, old sled next guy, pow surfing. So now we're using these things called pow surfs, and they're basically bindingless snowboards. So you're literally surfing on the powder, and it's a riot. And it really, the snowmobile is the best tool for it because, you don't have snowshoes or, with skis, like your ski, a lot of skiers can ski tour. So you use the snowmobile to get up and down like the chairlift, and
awesome.
It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got there's some footage, video, and photos of me doing some pow surfing that I sent you.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to get to those too, for sure. Are you a TOBE monosuit guy, or are you a two-piece guy, or what do you wear when you're out there?
The monosuit probably 90% of the time. There's a few different thicknesses. So like I've got one that's super lightweight, but I really only can wear that in the springtime or else I'm freezing. And then I've got another one that's a lot heavier, like more Carhartt type
insulated,
material, and that's the one I use more than anything when it's cold outside.
Right on.
Very cool.
Well, Bobby, you've got one too, right? That you've got a one piece, whatever the brand is, but you've been using it quite a bit, have you?
Yeah, I definitely have. It's a little more work to put on and take off, just because I go in and out of restaurants a lot, being a trail guy. But super, super warm, and it's nice to not worry about like snow getting up in it at all. Like when we're playing around off trail, that type of thing. But I will say, like, a weird thing you don't realize is like at the end of the day, you don't have a jacket because you only have a monosuit. So like if you have to bring a jacket with you, and like something that's warm enough to like do stuff outside if you have to.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because I guess if you're getting back in the truck, Bobby, you're not like just unrolling it to your waist.
No, yeah.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
You probably got to layer up a little bit more out there.
Yeah. Well, I got a liner for mine, but yeah, without the liner, I rode the first couple rides, and even at like 30, I was kind of chilly. So definitely either layer up or like I did get the liner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right on.
That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
I always like the monosuit. It's a great idea. Like you're saying, it stops the draft and the snow going up your back, Bobby. Totally. Especially when you hit powder, like even riding on the Quebec trails when it's cold, the snow dust when you're whipping up that gets thrown back up on your back, it's huge.
Yeah.
You don't realize that. I was wondering about that. I'm like, what if like a really insulated monosuit would be good, but minus 40, I don't know, man.
A lot of people rip on like the looks of them too, but I think like nowadays a lot of the designs are getting to the point that like I know a lot of my buddies didn't even realize I had a monosuit until I went to like take it off at the bar. They're like, "Oh wow, that's a one piece." I'm like, "Yeah, the designs are just they've changed enough that you can't even really tell anymore."
Right on.
Yeah, well,
I think
they didn't see your footies were on there, like the with the and the flap with the buttons on the back,
What were you saying, John? You were saying something.
I think that TOBE really brought the monosuit back to the industry.
Okay.
I started working with them, I think 2010. So it's been 11 years, and and you couldn't even get, when I started working with TOBE, you couldn't even get their gear unless you knew this guy in Salt Lake that was a distributor, and so I'd be wearing my TOBE gear here in Colorado. People would come up and, "Where'd you get that? That's pretty cool." And it's funny because now I'd say TOBE is probably at least 45-50% of the market share that we see in the mountains here.
Right on.
Very good. Right on.
It's wicked.
And of course Climb and Ski-Doo and everybody else has followed suit, pun intended, I guess. Everybody's making a monosuit now.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's
because
really
when Bobby told us about it, I'm like, oh, that's kind of, I never thought, because it's one of those things where you're kind of backcountry mountain, but I was like, and Mike Sled Addict, he said the same thing. He's got a monosuit too. So, I think you'll probably start seeing it maybe move more down to the flatlanders too as well, right, Bobby? Like you say it works great.
They'll make them more insulated.
Right, Gary?
Yeah. Well, actually, and even like Tony Cat's saying, he wears a tech vest, so he thinks he'd overheat. That actually, like, if you got a non-insulated monosuit, your legs are pretty much always warm. That was never my issue with it. Right. It was the fact that the chest protector I wear is not insulated, so it doesn't warm me at all. So if you had a tech vest on, that would probably add the little bit of warmth you need to like be completely comfortable in a monosuit that's not insulated.
And the trail sleds, the fairing on the trail sleds kind of break the wind the way you guys ride. Yeah.
For sure.
And
I know.
Bob,
I rode a sled with a real windshield this weekend, and I was like, "Wow, these actually work." It was shocking. I was like, "Wow, there's just nothing going on in front of me right now. This is crazy."
and the Tech Fest do offer a huge amount of R value. I gotta say that because
yeah,
I took my thinner upper jacket with me to Quebec. I got a new one, and it was kind of borderline where you take the liner out and it's the shell and it's great for the spring.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was a gamble because we were saddle bagging it, and I'm like, well, it's a gamble. And then when we woke up and it was -40, I'm like, this is going to be a gamble. But you know what? I was okay. And the only reason why I was okay, and I firmly believe this, was because my Tech Fest, it gave me that extra R value. Yeah. So, but I had a hood on the back of my jacket, and believe it or not, I think it cut down on the wind on the back of my neck. Like the jacket I was wearing had a hoodie on the back, and it I think it helped.
Wow.
So,
yeah. So does John, does TOBE have like protection products like Tech Vest or things like that? I know 509 has one. Like other brands have come out with them.
Yeah, I mean just the helmet, which is a partnership with Arrow.
Nice.
The helmet's awesome. They are starting to get into more like secondary items. I heard a rumor that they might be coming out with some goggles next year. But they make some first layer stuff. I don't really wear, a lot of people I know wear chest guards and stuff, but I actually don't. I wear knee and shin guards more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I have a full like sleeve like protector, but it just feels so bulky. I feel really restricted in it. So
yeah,
I just try not to hurl my body into stationary objects.
Always the goal. Yeah.
That's it.
That's a really good plan,
Yeah.
Yeah. But if anyone wants to see the full line, go to TOBEouterwear.com, TOBE outerwear.com, and you can see their full line of stuff. It's pretty awesome, actually. Really top-notch stuff. So, and again, thank you, TOBE Outerwear, for giving our viewers such a great prize with that.
That was a great giveaway. That was awesome.
100% windproof monosuit. That's great. Yeah.
Do you know what like colors he picked or anything, Gary? Not yet.
I don't. I sent her the information, so I think that's in the works. So we'll see what happens.
Nice.
So
hopefully he sends in some pics once he gets it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. So I need to get some BOA boots, and TOBEs are on my short list. Snowstorm says, right on. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy, like you hear the brand, you see the brand, and I always thought it was really like it's very, very high end.
BOA boots as well too, John.
Yeah, they're great. I actually just got a new pair. I put a year and a half on the others, and they were getting a little bit packed out. So got fresh boots. They're awesome.
Right on. That's cool. I've got BOA, but they're the Frugal Doer approved ones, and I love them. I like how quick it is to get going. So,
but having said that though, guys, I have spoken to a couple of people that I know that when those cables go, you're screwed. Like when they let loose, it doesn't matter what brand. I'm not saying any.
Yeah, but BOA's the brand of the dial that's on all.
Well, it's the cable system, and I was told when those go, like I haven't seen it because I was thinking about that when I was dialing it in the other day, and I'm like, yeah, if this goes, you're kind of messed up, right? Am I right? Or have any of you guys had the cable go on your bows? Like, doesn't matter what brand. We're not talking about brand.
Well, the cable, the knob breaks, and the first time it happened, I sent in a warranty request, and they sent me 2 knobs, and it was fast. Like I'm talking, I had them within a week, and they just snap in. You click the cable never breaks because it's stainless steel cable. You just line the cable into the groove, and you click the thing back in the boot, and it'll snap in. BOA is amazing as far as the customer support goes, and you could even put a claim in and see how fast it takes you to get. So I've got a spare still.
Yeah, my question though, Gary, is like, say I'm out traveling somewhere, like I'm on a saddlebag trip, and my BOA boot lets go. Like, are you still okay for riding, or is it like loosey goosey? Like,
no, when it breaks, the knob falls out when you take it off.
Okay.
And it's got a click lock on it. It'll be hanging there. But if you push it into your boot and crank it tight, it holds itself into the boot.
Okay. So you're not left with an open boot.
No, you're not left. Where you notice it's crappy is when you go to take it off, it'll go so like a slinky, right? But you when you click it into the boot, like so if it's hanging like that, just kind of wind it as you go in, push it in the boot, and then you can click it. And as soon as it's in there, at least that's the way mine broke, and it was clipped in there. And that's the thing. Mine was from hitting the cab on the sled.
This is where I know where mine are going to wear, because on my bibs, because on I guess it's the way I sit in the matrix, I can see where the dials are. Yeah, they're literally shining up my bibs.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
I can see they're rubbing on the plastic. So I'm it's curious. Yeah. That's why I was asking. So
mine are from impact because my feet are not in the footwells, like in the footholds part.
Yeah.
Mine is from slamming against the thing. So, and again, I had one break and I've got an extra one here if it ever breaks again. And mine are snowboard boots, so I wear them snowboarding. So I mean, I get dual use of them. I use them a lot. So
do you have the bow system, Bobby, or use it? Yeah. See, how do you like it? Pretty good.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, my boots are tight enough that even when I've never had a break, but I've had times that it must catch and pop out. They stay on no problem. So I would be curious if they actually broke, what would happen. But I always assumed they would be tight enough that I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's what I was just wondering, what it's like, because I was wondering that when I was cranking on it the other day. I thought, what happens when this lets go? And I know when we were on our trip, Jesse and Mike both said they had issues before, and it was, you get them fixed or whatever. But
mine was like it was loose when you took the boot off, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when you crank it down, it sucks all that cable up, and it holds the dial close to your boot.
Now, do you guys have the dual system? Because I know there's one. I only have the single one.
I'm single,
top. And then apparently they offer another one on the side, bottom, lower, which I guess brings in the lower part of the boot. So I only have the single one. So
So
I have
same with me.
I have several pairs of snowboard boots, and the TOBE boots are the same way with the side. So the side is the top of the foot zone, and the top is the tongue.
Right on. Yeah, because I was wondering about that. And apparently, it makes a difference. It tightens up you don't have to crank on the top as much as where because some people prefer it tighter down on the lower part of the boot and the lower BOA use, and then vice versa. Right on.
And BOA they're a really great company. They're based in Denver. I actually used to work with them as a client, and you can pretty much send anything in and they'll fix it. And you can send them other boots or shoes, like traditional laced type of things, and they'll actually rig your nice whatever, like motorcycle boots or whatever, with the BOA system.
Oh, right on.
That's really cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
they're a pretty awesome company.
That's the thing. They were fast, and that was a few years ago that I put my claim in. They were super fast, and it was no questions asked. And they not only sent me the one to replace, they sent me a spare one. And it's and I still have it in a bag. So, knock on wood, I haven't had any issues with it since. So, yeah.
And and they're covered in all the manufacturers, right? It doesn't matter whether it's Klein.
Oh yeah, it's the same.
The FXR, it's the same design. They're
it's
just
the same
utilizing
unit. Yeah,
exactly.
It's the same.
They do a lot
of
of golf. They play in some other basketball, golf, pretty much any performance footwear type of things. And there's even gloves and braces and
because I'm looking for adventure bike boots, and I haven't seen that. They don't have them on those. They're all still buckles. Because I was wondering about that. I'm I'm surprised. Yeah, I was just surprised.
Yeah.
Right on.
Back to Slobie.
Right? Slobie's been there.
He's a chatty Cathy, isn't he? He sent a huge list there, didn't he? But there he is. He does a lot of work with the Redfield Snowmobile Club. He built a bridge, and I love it. So thanks for all your hard work you put in on that club too, Slobie. And and your whole club. So he's always giving him a shout out. So and
his
then,
last video, he did they did a stop by luncheon type thing on the trail with that.
Yeah,
club.
that's right. That was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then here, this is just a sled. I don't know whose it is, but look at the little Slowbie decal there. I like the fish on it. That's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's neat. So it must be a buddy. That looks like his sled to the right in the one photo.
Yeah, you see that manta green peeking through.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it must be a buddy of his. Dominator 286. He says, Gary, here's a few pics from last week in southeast Wisconsin. The trails were absolutely incredible. He did about 80 to 100 miles a day in an area that hasn't been decent snow in almost a decade. Walworth County, Wisconsin, with some friends, a couple of Ski-Doos, a Yamaha Nitro, and a Polaris Pro S800. And then he sent me a picture of a night ride. Look at that, shredded it. And he sent me a night ride photo. But look at the snow there. That's it. Rich and I were talking last week, and I said to him, it's been probably 25 years since I've seen snow in this area so good. You know,
Yeah,
like
it's crazy how the winter turned around.
Yeah. Now I wonder if it's because just La Nina is really here, like they said it was going to be, or is it because people aren't driving as much? Because they said the ozone layer's like totally healing, and the like from the pollution is down from people not driving with all the worldwide shutdowns and stuff. Like, would
In
it
that
be
case, let's keep people working from home so we can have better snowmobile seasons.
Well, that's what I'm just throwing it out there. You know? Yeah, exactly. I'm just throwing it out there. Like yeah, there's less, like you said, chemtrails. I'm not a big proponent on that, but there's less airplanes in the air. You know, and I can't believe that this year, with everything being so down, we've got record snowfall. It's been crazy. Like to think we're lucky to have 3 days a whole year on my local club trails. To have them open for 2 weeks is insane, right? And then Corey was saying the Hillsburg snow roamers trails, they've been open 30 days in a row, and that's an hour away from me. It's just north of Guelph, so we're not very far away from me at all, and they've been open for 30 days. And he said they could have been open longer, but they chose to hold off for 2 weeks to let a base build up.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm happy for the southern clubs, Gary, because
about our 7-foot base.
Yeah.
that'll be holding until June.
Don't rub it in. Yeah, we have no base here, so a couple of days like we had today, it's going to be all gone, unfortunately, even up north. You know, so
man,
yeah,
I feel for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know, we had a good season so far. I've got my permit dollars worth, right? Have you, Rich?
Oh yeah, even my Quebec one, like everyone says, you know, the Quebec one's $400, and that 1,300 kilometers I put on paid for itself right there. And if we go back the second time,
that's even better, right?
Yeah.
How fast are you allowed to go? What's the rule on that?
Well, the speed limit's the speed limit, right? But like I said, in Quebec, I'm not kidding you, cruising along, like if you wanted to cruise along, like there was 5 of us, and if you were hanging around in the back, you weren't doing any less than $1.20.
And that's kilometers per hour?
Yeah. And there were some times when we switched off at
70 miles an hour.
When we were coming back from, what was the name of the place? When we were coming back from, oh my God, I can't even remember, from Mattagami, we switched off and I hit the trail and the groomer just laid down. There was fresh snow. And I'm not kidding you, I held it open $1.65, $1.70 for about 15-20 minutes.
Right on.
Like
So
just
that's
like there's nothing in front of you. You just got smooth trail. It's 60 feet wide, and you're and like I was saying to Gary, you've got your music on. It's just like, this is like awesome. It's heaven. It's
kind of
awesome.
like motorcycling. It seems like
it is. That's exactly what it's like. Like you literally, you know. So Jesse was saying the speed limit's 70 kilometers an hour, but I mean, you're not doing that in Quebec. Like it's just like there's no one there. That's like anything. You got to use common sense, right?
Yeah. It should be 80 kilometers. Ontario.
that one section when we were leaving Mattagami coming back down, literally, I'm not kidding you, it's got to be, maybe these guys can correct me, but it's got to be 60, 70, 80 kilometers of just straight. Like straight. Like there's no turns. It's just straight. And it's flat. It's wide open, and the groomer just went by. So, you know, it'd be like opening up a motorcycle on the trails and that. So I'm not saying to do that. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do?
Well, and that's the thing, and that's the great thing about Quebec. Like Mike and Jesse, they've never been to Quebec, and they said, it's amazing. I don't care. I've never been to a better trail system, and I don't know if there's a better trail system in the world. Like I could be wrong. Maybe there's somewhere in Europe and that, but Quebec is unreal. It's amazing. It really is. It's a great trail system. Really good.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a culture too, right?
Yeah. Like I like next year, Bobby, when we meet you guys, I'd like to meet in Quebec because you guys will be blown away by the trails. Like
so the only thing I've heard about Quebec is that your stuff gets stolen. Is that like a lie?
Oh, it's, you know what, Bobby?
Polaris.
Yeah.
So my buddy had a brand new Polaris 850 the first year they came out, and his buddy had an old Pro S 800 and had engine problems. So at the hotel, they watched my buddy Jeff's 850 got stolen, and they watched the video. And the very first sled they tried to steal was the 800 Pro S, and it started, but it was only running on one cylinder, and they couldn't get it to move forward fast. So they shut it down, went over, unplugged the key on his, and took off on the brand new 850. And had the 800 brand, the 850 wouldn't have got stolen. But yeah.
Dang.
So, you know what, though, Bobby? If they're going to take it, they're going to take it. It doesn't mean even in Ontario the same thing. But
for sure. Yeah.
Like
okay.
I'm
so the whole
Bobby,
Quebec being worse is a wives' tale thing, then.
Yeah,
it is totally.
It is. And the people are amazing. Like people say, oh, you know, they're not nice. They're amazing. Like everyone. So our first day, we got pulled over by the Sûreté de Quebec, which is the provincial police. So to be like a state trooper, Bobby. And there was two of them. They pulled us over, and they were kind and happy and nice as heck that we were there. So because
awesome.
we were like, oh, are we going to get turned around? What's the deal? And they were amazing. So, you know, a great province, great trails, amazing hotels, food, everything. Like everybody was spectacular to us. So, but yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though, Bobby. And it would be kind of halfway for all of us to meet. Would be in Quebec, and like I said, you guys, you'll never ride trails like this. I'm serious. It's awesome. They're amazing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, enough about you, Rich. Again, this is not the Rich show. It's Dominator. Dominator 286 has sent in some verbiage with his picture.
My bad.
No. So he says this night ride was from last Monday up in Lyons, Wisconsin. He said the temps were well below 0 Fahrenheit. What is that, Rich, in Celsius?
What are we talking?
0 Fahrenheit.
0 Fahrenheit? I don't know what that would be. That's a good question.
Bobby, come on. No Googling.
Sorry, I froze up. I don't.
Minus 18 Celsius.
Minus 18. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
Right. Did you Google that, Gary?
Nope. I did earlier. I did. I have my conversion.
That's good. Well, at least you're honest. That's good.
So I have it already converted for because I thought no one's going to know, and then I'm going to be babbling. I'm going to think 0 is minus 32, and I went, "There's no way it's minus 32. That'd be insane." Okay, so then we got now, John. Off to you now. All right, I'm going to get to you now.
About time.
I know, isn't it? What folder should I go into first?
I don't know. You could go into. It seems like you do a lot of still stuff, so maybe go to action stills.
Okay. Should I just click? Oh, there's not a lot in here. We can probably click on them all. Oh, that's a great photo. What is this?
That's a
click on.
That's a Microsoft thing, I think.
Right. Hey, it's Mac. Look at this. What a shot. So where's this at?
Awesome.
That's at a Loveland ski area. So that's inbounds using the chairlift.
This is snowmobile sessions, by the way. It's not chairlift sessions. All right, John. Come on. All right.
That is awesome.
There's
a ton of people that do that, right? which is awesome.
Yeah.
There's something we like there. This is what we're talking about, John. These things here on the bottom left, we want to see those.
I've got
got here?
some good sled videos in there too.
Cool.
Let's see.
Where's this, John?
That's I believe that's Corona Pass. Actually, there was an avalanche on that mountain on the east face of that. Just, I think in the last couple of weeks, somebody was killed in an avalanche right there.
Shit.
Oh, that sucks. What do you do? What do you do for avalanche preparedness or training?
So I am an ARI, American Institute Avalanche Research and Education. I'm one of a couple dozen motorized specific level 1 instructors. And I work with Matt Entz out of Southern Colorado. And we teach about I think we're probably going to do 5 avalanche classes this year. It's a 3-day class where we go through, basically we break it down into little bite-sized pieces and then bring it together on a day 3, where you can kind of practice all the things that we teach you about planning for your ride, assembling your group, making decisions by consensus, getting on the same page about what you're going to do out there, that you have all the right avalanche equipment, that you know how to use it. We teach efficient rescue scenarios. And then the big thing is being able to recognize avalanche terrain and knowing how to avoid it. So there's quite a few aspects to it, but the big thing that we want people to take away is that they can read the avalanche report, apply it to the terrain, know where to avoid, and how to travel as a team through that terrain so that people aren't making mistakes that often happen out there.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Everybody must have seen it by now. And I think I might have mentioned it on the last show, but that shot where guys were snowmobiling and that avalanche came down on them,
In
and
Utah,
then the one guy digs his brother out and he's up to his thing. That's scary, man.
Yeah, and that was a shallow. They were lucky; they were shallow in it.
Yeah,
right?
well, they were. Did you see how much they were pinning it when it was coming towards them? And they were to the bar on the sleds that it caught up to them, right?
Yeah.
That's
Big Part
stuff,
says
man.
he took Mike Duffy's class twice.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, and he said he did a 3-day class with Entz.
Oh, nice. So I must have seen whoever that is.
Yeah, that's good.
Right
Perfect.
Yeah, it's something I'm really passionate about. There's just been so many deaths. I've been in the backcountry for decades, and it's just a part of our culture here that people make those mistakes, and the more it happens, the more people that are out there, the more prevalent it becomes. And so I've really invested a lot of time and energy into getting these certifications so I can share this experience with other people and hopefully help them avoid these situations and maybe even save somebody else's life.
How prepared can you be for it? Like is it something that if you are prepared and you kind of know that the area, is it safe, or is there always that element of anything's going to happen at any time and we're just rolling the dice?
I'm back in the old days, like it really was sort of a getting struck by lightning, like an act of God. There's all this mystery to it. But the way that it's been broken down and the way that we understand it now is essentially you've got a 3-legged stool. You've got avalanche terrain, you've got weak layers, and then a trigger. You take any one of those things away, you don't have an avalanche problem. Where the problem exists is when you've got a steep slope. So, it's typically 30 to 45 degrees is your most prime angles. 38 degrees is like the perfect angle. And then you add a hard layer over a weak layer that doesn't support what's underneath of it. So think, ball bearings underneath of a dense slab of styrofoam. It's not gonna support the weight. And so and then there's trigger points. So if you can read the terrain well, you know that you don't want to be on a 30 to 45 degree slope or anything connected to it. So you could be out in the flats, but if there's a continuously connected slab of terrain where that can gain momentum and slide into the flats. So we just teach people how to read terrain and understand what's in the snowpack so that they can be informed. You know, the best thing about snowmobiling is on high avalanche days, we don't have to go be in avalanche terrain. We can have a lot of fun in, you know, lower angle slopes and meadows. And whereas skiing and snowboarding, when the danger is high, I mean, it's really the only way to get enough speed is to go in avalanche terrain. So snowmobiling is actually a great offset to the snowboarding that I do, because when avalanche danger is high, I can go play on my snowmobile. As things stabilize in the springtime, that's when I can get up on, you know, steeper slopes and really get out there on the snowboard. So I'd say basically the whole beginning of the winter, I'm snowmobiling more than anything. And then when we get into March and April, that's when the snowboards come out a lot more often.
Yeah. How do you make that decision of when and where to ride? Is it that day kind of thing, or how much time in advance do you guys get?
I mean, it just depends. There's the beauty of where I live is there's just so many places that I can go ride within, you know, well, really where I live, there's 8 trailheads to completely different type of terrain within a half hour of my house. But I could drive to Jackson Hole in 5 hours, or Southern Colorado in 5 hours, or Salt Lake, or so, you know, depending on what's going on and who wants to do what, you know, I can really kind of engineer the day as far as who I'm riding with, what we're trying to do, where we want to go, what the conditions are going to be like. And, you know, and I've got a lot of experience in the terrain and a lot of the mountain areas around here. And so I can apply that kind of experience to the table as well, and know what type of terrain I want to be in for the day and the people that I'm with.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh, that's one thing I always wonder, if I ever get my butt out there to go mountain riding, is it something like fishing where, oh, they're not biting today, or, you know, like we can't go out, it's an avalanche day. It sounds like there's lots of options. You know what I mean? If you can't go to this area, there's that other area that's just
well, like I've been up to Alaska a few times, and you know, you can't go in the mountains unless it's completely blue skies, because if the light goes flat, you can find yourself in situations you don't want to be in. You know, there's crevasses and the terrain might roll over into, you know, really steep exposed terrain, or, you know, so whereas in Colorado we have such great forests, and so we do a lot of riding in the trees, because you know, that's where the snow's protected from the sun and the wind and all that anyway. So, you know, the better snow is going to be in the trees, but the trees are great for visibility and depth of field as well.
Right on. Yeah, I guess so, right? Like we get those days, believe it or not, on the trail where you can't see anything and it'll drop out on you. I mean, we're talking a foot, but when you're doing speed, it can really hurt, right? So what's this picture of?
That is me snowboarding. You know, we use the sleds to get to the tops of the mountains, and yeah, we call that the white room.
Yeah, that's right. That's awesome. How do you get back up? Do you got someone down at the bottom to take you back up on the sled, to grab the sled you drove up?
Yeah, the most ideal situation is that you have like 4 riders and 4 sleds. And so we'll leave 2 sleds down at the bottom and use 2 sleds to get to the top, and then party lap where all 4 people can ride at the same time. And that's really it's better to have the buddy system even when you're, you know, in the snowboard terrain, because you want to have eyes on each other when you're in that terrain. So we'll only expose 1 rider at a time to the slope, just like we would on snowmobiles, but with the snowboards, we'll kind of do the same thing, but we're using gravity instead of a motor to move through the terrain.
So you always keep line of sight on your buddies no matter what. You don't try and get out of zone. That's nice and safe.
Yeah, you only expose one person at a time to the danger.
Well, that's good. That's good. Let the new guy go first, is what you're saying. Gary, go down the hill.
If you
section over there.
If you click forward a couple, there's
we will. We're not done with you yet.
I was just trying to get to the snowmobile shots for you.
Yeah, people will want to know what kind of camera systems you use.
I've got like a GoPro. I use a GoPro Hero 8, I think it is.
Good camera
for most things, and then actually my iPhone 12 does amazing.
Yeah,
it's
great photos. Yeah, and the videos is nuts too.
Yeah, the
I
video
used
is
to carry a
crazy.
nice DSLR camera, but it was just so much bulk and too heavy, and I didn't want to ruin it anyway. So
yeah, that's a great shot. I'm a snowboarder too. I haven't done it in a few years, but I was the guy back when snowboarding was. We were the only two guys on the hill, me and my buddy, and he had a friend that started ORG boards out of Cambridge, and they were bought by Burton or one of the big companies, but it was one of the first snowboard companies in Canada, and yeah, we looked like we were aliens on the hill. We were, you wore your Sorels in them, and it was totally a very, very test pilot for these boards. It was pretty awesome. And then I got out of it. I had this board, and then I got out of it. I gave it back. I used his boards, right? And then I was skiing again. And the last time I skied, I had 215 racing skis, huge. And I was in line, and that's when the shape skis were in. And I'm in line, and everyone's looking up at my skis, and everyone else is down really low. They're using 155 shape skis. And I went, I think it's time for me to get new skis. And I went to a ski shop, and snowboards were on sale. And I went, you know what? I think I'll buy one of these snowboards, because I was going to rent one for the week to see if I really liked it still or not. And then I bought one that was a rental that was on deal. And I took my racing skis. I went down and got ski tickets, went back up the hill. It was Mont Blanc in Quebec. Went back to the room, put my board on, and I'd never seen skis again. So
nice work.
I love boarding. Yeah, my daughter boards, my son boards, my wife does skis. Can't convert her.
Yeah, I was definitely a snowboarder first. So the snowmobile was a dream for, over a decade. And I kind of lucked out with my career. Started working for Polaris in 2004, and that really gave me the justification I needed to spend the money and start getting into snowmobiles.
Nice. This is a beautiful shot here, John. That's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, this is probably late May or early June in Colorado a few years ago.
Love it.
Nice. There's a nice sled wrap there too.
I missed it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the red and the blue. That was nice.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah, that was a graphic that I actually did.
This is snowboarding sessions, not snowmobile sessions.
Well, you'll notice everybody's wearing a snowmobile helmet, and so what's funny is the skiers and snowboarders look at us like we're weird because we're actually snowboarding with our sled helmets.
That's hilarious. That's awesome.
I'd love to. I would love to do that. I'd wear my oxygen. I'd get a 12-volt battery and wear it in my backpack and have my oxygen.
Have your light on in the back, Gary.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do feel like I'm on another planet all the time.
Yeah. Do you want an airbag? No, I got my oxygen helmet.
Right. Yeah.
It's got the light. It'll melt the snow. There we go.
So here's us at the top of the mountain getting the boards
at that
off
view, man. Look at that view.
That's wild.
Man.
So this is Collingwood, Ontario, Blue Mountain, I take it.
Yeah. Right. No, it's Ski Lakeridge up Lakeridge there in Durham.
Is anyone from London? It's It's Boulder Mountain, the Boulder Bump. WD4ED says snowmobiles, Gary.
That's awesome.
This is actually like pretty shitty conditions too. But
Wow, and look, it's up past his thigh. It's shitty conditions. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I got Roscoe stuck in chest deep snow there. That's Gary's Gulch.
Look
at that.
Shot.
That's a great shot.
That's a great shot.
There we go. WD4ED. There's a snowmobile shot for you.
Right. Yeah.
Is that an 800? Is it non-turbo? What are you riding?
That was a 15 Assault 800.
Nice.
And then I had taken the competition track off of it and put a powder track on it.
Nice.
Other than that, it was pretty much stock except for the wrap and the running boards and bumpers, I guess.
There we go.
So this is the POW Surf. So I'm not attached to that board. I'm just
right on.
So a silly question. So forgive me for asking. Do you not come off the board easy, or is it just more
it's
centrifugal force that keeps you stuck to the board? Like, what is it? Like,
you need speed and deep snow to be able to do it.
Right on.
Are you tethered to the board, or if you get one shot once you fall off the board's down in like ground zero?
Yeah,
there's a leash attached to it. You just can't see it in the the powder.
That was going to make sense, because if you have a yard sale and you leave it halfway up the mountain, right?
It would be down at the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're going to have to get your sled to go back up and get it and try to find it.
Right. Did you see
this is becoming really popular with a lot of the sledders and in the like the ski country, like mountain towns.
What do you actually have like snowboard boots, or what are you wearing on your feet here?
I'm probably wearing snowboard boots, but the beauty of the POW Surf is I could wear my snowmobile boots also, because they don't have to fit in any binding.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good plan. Oh, look at that.
So that's a snowmobile accessed area in Summit County, kind of near Breckenridge. And this was actually last spring. So, you guys were talking about breaking the COVID rules. Usually we have traffic jams out of Denver. I used to live in the city. I've been in the city the last 26 years. And I drove up to the mountains, and there wasn't a car on the highway all the way up on a Saturday morning. And, the whole world was locked down. And I'm like, screw it, I'm going snowboarding.
Yeah, you're not going to get catch COVID off that pine tree off to the side, or that granite off to the left. Yeah.
What my big fear with this shot would be is I'd be ripping down there, and some guy on a 850 turbo would be flying up the other way.
Actually, that's a very good insight. There are a lot of user conflicts that are starting to happen, and that's something that has definitely happened in this area. And so we're sharing terrain with different application. And so that's one of the things that I'm focused on with our nonprofit organization under the Backcountry United banner, is trying to find this common ground between human powered and motorized recreation, not only for the sake of, we're sharing avalanche terrain. So you want to be aware of what's above and below you when you're riding. But also, the more user conflicts we start to see, the more some of these wilderness groups will use that to close us out of our riding areas. And so that's something I've gotten really passionate about through the work that I do. And that's to try to change some of the negative perceptions of snowmobilers to the greater community out there that thinks we're reckless and with our loud pipes and hold my beer and trees for traction. And, it was always fun and funny, but, now we're facing, a different world where, you thought you were out there in the middle of nowhere by yourself and you could, be a jackass, but now there's so many people watching and waiting, trying to get us off the land. So,
yeah, that's huge, man. Because I know they're facing the same struggle in BC. My buddy's son has a place out west, snowmobiling too, in the mountains, and he says there's a lot that are being attacked right now for trying to keep snowmobilers off the mountains. So that's huge. Yeah, you got to protect it, right? So, and fight for the rights. But like you said, at the same time, you got to respect the other side's view as well too, right? And try to come up to amicable.
The public lands belong to everybody, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, the motorized access is really the only way for a lot of people who might not have otherwise had the opportunity to go out and be in nature. You know, think of, you know, multi-generational families, disabled people. You know, there's a lot of veterans that are really finding a lot of enjoyment out of like snowmobile access, and you know, and so it's kind of like the healthiest and wealthiest people of society. They move to these, you know, ski towns like Aspen or Jackson Hole, and they bring their kind of views with it. And really the culture who's been in these areas for, you know, decades, generations, like we're actually close with the land. Like we've been out there hunting and fishing and hiking and, you know, doing everything that we do in our small town culture. And so it's an interesting thing that's happening. You know, people are moving to places like Colorado and almost in an exodus like fashion. And you know, people need to understand like how we've been doing it, like how we haven't messed it up. Like, you know, there's actually something to learn from our blue collar culture in these small, you know, agricultural and coal mining towns and stuff. And so that's something I care about. I actually moved my family back to my hometown, Craig, Colorado, up in northwest part of the state. And you know, it's heaven on earth, but I know that at some point, you know, we're gonna probably start to pick up steam and get a lot more, you know, people coming in. And so how do you keep that culture alive and kind of fight to, you know, protect what we all, I mean, really it's the most precious moments of our lives with our friends and family. Like it's really more valuable than us just going out and having fun, you know, in my view. So it's something that I really care about.
No, and that's good. You got to be passionate about that. Getting outdoors and being, you know, in the mountains, or even us flatlanders getting out in the wilderness. It's important. You know, it's part of your mental health as well too. A lot of people, that's how they unload on the weekend or whatever, right? And reset themselves. So it's very important. That's awesome that you're doing that.
That may be part of the stigma too, is that the videos you see is all, you know, at the base partying and being idiots and stuff.
Yeah.
And that paints the picture that they're all like that. But
right.
Bobby, I think Bobby and I are thinking the same thing. We have a suggestion for this. You know, if this guy's coming down the hill and he's got his buddy up at the top coming down and the snowmobile's coming up, you can just give him the two, or if he's the last guy, you just give him the fist out the side, you know, like the old trail sign. And take some flatlander rules, right?
And there's so much changing right now too, just between riding techniques and all the amazing gear innovations and everything. Like, it's unbelievable what we are empowered to do in 2020 versus even just 10 years ago. And the more of these things, you know, one big thing that happened with COVID is the ski areas had to drastically limit their capacity. And so now people can't just go skiing on any given day. They have to make reservations, and, you know, and so a lot of people are buying snowmobiles with the purpose of skiing. Like, I've never seen so many skiers and snowboarders in the snowmobile parking lots before this year.
That's crazy.
And it's just getting started. And I mean, there's the ski snowboard, just the backcountry focused side of the ski snowboard industry is 18 times the size of the snowmobile industry.
Wow.
So, you know, there could be a lot of awesome things that come out of it. Like, imagine the snowmobile industry growing 2 or 3 times.
Which is possible, right? Because I mean, what the manufacturers are seeing in sales, and then of used recreation snowmobiles it's unreal, and it can only hopefully help the sport, right? So
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think it nearly
sure.
doubled this year, to be honest. But
the one thing
so this is John Miller from TOBE Outerwear on this week's snowboarding sessions.
So the rest of the pictures in this folder are snowboard shots. If you go
there
back,
might be a snowmobile behind that. Is there a snowmobile behind that?
I'm gonna take you to a video.
oh, right
Wow,
on.
this is great.
Perfect.
Okay, we'll get back here. Action videos right here. We
There
might
you
get
go.
sound on this too, boys.
Right on.
So let's see. Pick the fourth one at the top.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I just want to.
This was just a couple weeks ago.
Right on. Look at the snow. That's awesome.
Full screen here. Oh, my son must be home.
See how well this streams.
Oh, we got no sound. Nice. What sled is this, John? I know it's a Polaris, but what model?
This is a 17 163 with a stage 2 kit and
Right on.
Fox shocks.
Nice.
Look
Just
at
climbing.
that.
Look at the snow in the trees. Beautiful. Bluebird day. Nice. That's awesome.
That's the problem, is it doesn't look steep. Like the GoPro
yeah.
videos never make the hill look steep. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
But yeah, you
Look
or
at
I
all
would be
the
up there and you'd be
trees.
shitting your pants.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure.
Right, Bobby?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
You can always go down faster, better than you can go up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So do you own your sled, or do you have a sponsor that actually provides those? I don't know whether we asked that question or not already.
I own my sleds. That's kind of the way it's going. I've had sponsors in the past, but it's
Yep.
I don't know. I like having. I've got just the right amount of sponsors right now where,
Look at that view.
you know, I'm not a it's not like labor all the time. It's like I can really go and enjoy the sport as I want to. And
Where is this? Sorry, John, to interrupt you there. This is beautiful. Oh, wow.
so that's a riding area outside of Denver. And this is late. This is probably end of May, early June.
What?
After a good like spring storm. And the nice thing
we
about
could still be riding in June, buddy, if we go out west.
the nice thing about this time of year, you know, late April and May, we've got the thickest base of snow that we have the whole year. And so when you get a good wet spring storm on it, you know, you can get some pretty amazing powder days. This was just a few days ago.
Nice.
Did sound come on there?
Nope.
No, that's weird.
Nope.
Very strange.
My show's muted out on there, Gary. On the one thing there.
What does? No,
On your
that's
screen.
me. I'm just
Oh, okay.
trying to.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Like you follow a lot of the guys that are riding out west, and this tight in between the trees, man, that would make me nervous. But obviously, it's awesome, man. Like, that's cool. That is wild.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that is cool.
You certainly pay your dues to learn how to do it. That's for sure.
Yeah, to keep this motion going, right? It's not a first timer going like this. There's a tree for traction. What are you talking about, John?
Oops.
You said you don't go by that.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'll go back and edit that out.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny is this video, like my camera ended up dying because I'm doing this for like 30 minutes straight.
Right. That's awesome, though.
Are you going down or down and up, or what are you doing here?
Kind of
Sideways.
across.
Yeah, you're going sideways, right? Yeah, vertical. Yeah.
See, there's
Or
the
horizontal.
snowboard.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's wild.
So how do you
Very
not
good.
lose your buddies in the mountains like that? Like, how do you not get to it? You get so focused and in the zone that you just go, and then you stop and go, oh crap, where is everybody?
Lots of communication, lots of looking out for one another. Definitely carry good two-way radios. You know, it's it's very important that we stick together and keep our eyes on each other. And I mean, things can happen just in a snap. Like, I mean, like last week I was cruising through the trees with a group of guys, and they kind of stopped in this little area, and I saw some untracked, I mean, it was all untracked, but I saw this cool looking line that I wanted to take. And I came flying around this giant tree and tree well, and I miscalculated where my ski was. And I ended up catching the tree well like a berm, and it sucked my sled like a spiral, like down into the tree well.
Wow.
And I thought that I was just in the branches and that I could just throttle through it and be out.
Yeah.
And when I hit the throttle, it actually accelerated my turn, and I ended up like bashing the side of my helmet, knocked me off the sled, and then I was in the tree well, and I got buried by a lot of snow.
Deep down, right?
So, you know, and those guys were, I mean, less than 20 yards away, and they didn't even know that it had happened.
Wow.
Oh man,
You got good communication though, Mike's type thing though, eh, John? You must have some pretty good communication.
Yeah, we use the Oxbow Renegade radios.
Okay.
Which are pretty
Wow.
awesome.
Like
Yeah,
what's
they
the
have good range.
yeah.
The terrain makes a big difference, though. You know, depending on.
Look at that. Look how steep that is.
yeah, he's flying. That's awesome.
Holy shit. That's wild.
That's a kick in the ass right there.
Yeah.
I'm probably going, 55, 60 miles an hour on the snowboard.
That is wild.
awesome. Yeah, I can't believe they hadn't had a groomer go up there yet.
Right.
I didn't see one chairlift in that shot.
That's awesome, man.
Click on the blue sled on the right. One more
this
right.
one?
Yeah. That's a good one. Little hill climb.
I wish we had sound.
So this
Yeah,
is a pretty steep little thing.
I love that color too. I love that blue. It's nice.
I'm like, oh, nobody's been up here.
Yeah, I noticed you went off to the left where there was no tracks. That's awesome. See, and I'd be like, oh man, what's up here on the right?
These electric snowmobiles, mountain sleds are so quiet, aren't they?
Right.
I cannot wait to have an electric mountain sled.
Have you rode a Taiga or seen a Taiga? As many people have them out there.
Oh yeah, I've been paying attention for sure. I don't know if they're quite ready yet, but I look forward to. It's going to take some time to work it out and get the performance and reliability to where it needs to be.
For sure.
I've seen them operating on video, and it looks good. I want them on my show. I think Taiga would be awesome to chat with because I just love the technology.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful, man. You're so lucky to have. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, they've just got to get that sled out to market so people can.
It's the same thing with battery technology too. Like when the Tesla came out, right? You need to have charging stations, and people are like, "Well, I'll invest in it when I can go 400 kilometers or whatever." But but it's like anything. You just got to get the technology out there, and you know what? You'll have charging stations at hotels and stuff where you stop. And I know people are like, it's not going to happen. It will.
There's a charging station behind that one tree on that last video. Did you not see it?
But,
check out.
I'm just clicking through them all. I don't know if anyone else is thrilled by it, but I love this stuff.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good
This
shot
one's
too.
funny. I end up doing a barrel roll here.
You kept
going on my feet.
That's awesome.
I totally meant to do that.
That
You can see I'm just choking on the powder.
Yeah, I love it. Man, you're flying, dude. That's wicked.
Vertical.
Yeah, you're just starting to get your breath back, and you shovel more in your face.
Yeah, I like chomping on it.
Love it.
That's awesome.
How many beers does your backpack hold there?
I'm pretty straight-laced when it comes to all that stuff. You really
have to be.
Yeah, you have to be focused and really, have all your shit together.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'm only kidding.
The beers are in the truck, so we'll have
afterwards, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's the honest truth. There's your buddies. Like I'm just blown away that you can actually ride and end up being in the same spot. You know
That's
what I mean?
awesome. That's cool.
Hey, here's something you don't see every day. Yesterday, we were riding in Amish country. 2 Belgian, which is like Clydesdale horses.
Okay.
So we're riding along the trail, and you can see hoof marks. All of a sudden, you come up, Corey's like stand down, back down. They were running along the trail through the bush, and these things are just galloping like blip, blip, blip. And so we just stopped, and we got into an open field, and we just stopped and watched them, and they just followed because the trail is hard, right? If they got off the trail, it'd be like 2 feet of snow, and they just kept running. And then it wasn't half an hour since we finished our ride, so those were 2 brown horses. A buddy of mine sends me a picture, and he says, "Here, I'm gonna grab my phone here." He says, "Look what I seen on the trail today." He sent it to me by text. He didn't send it to fan photo at MUDBRATS.com. So make sure you send the pictures to fan.
So were they running free, or were they like towing Amish
free?
people around?
No, totally running free. Oh, these ones have riders on them. See, I didn't have my glasses on yesterday. These ones here. Ours were running free. Oh, and those aren't even Belgians. I'm not going to show you these pictures, but ours I've got a video of it.
Clydesdales are huge workhorses.
Yeah, it's a Belgian. It's like a Clydesdale, like the Carlsberg horses. The Carlsberg horses were Belgians, right?
Yep.
So they weren't actually. So not sorry. The Carlsberg horses were Belgians, not Clydesdales.
Yep.
These were the big massive hoofs, and they were just like boom. So I've had a lot of buddies see moose on the trail, and this was so cool. And then we're driving along. So they went right. So we were following them we weren't chasing them down because we didn't want to spook them because they just run for miles. But we followed their hoof prints, and we stayed back a long ways. And they were just having a ball, these 2 horses, and they ran to the right, and we decided to go to the left. And we get up there to the left again, there's more hoof marks. And then what do we come across? A family with a Belgian horse towing the sleigh, and the mom, dad, the 2 kids were all in there, and we go by waving with them, and the kids are laughing and waving back, and it was awesome. So
that's cool.
That's something you don't see every day.
Oh, you see moose and deer, but not Clyde. That's awesome, man.
Hey, click on the second one over from the left.
That one there?
Yep. So this was a beacon checkpoint project. I worked with the Colorado Snowmobile Association, and we developed these beacon checkers at trailheads. And the program's been in place for about 5 years now. And at first we only had a few trailheads, but now we've got almost 50 of them from southern Colorado all the way up to Cook City, Montana. So it's just an awareness tool, and it's got a little transceiver in there that basically tells you if your avalanche beacon is putting out a signal.
It triggers the beacon as you drive by. So if you don't hear it, then
it actually beeps when it detects you.
So it tells you that it's working.
So when you turn your beacon on, you're in send or transmit mode, where it's putting out a signal.
I got you.
And then this is receiving the signal. So it actually flashes a green light and it beeps if you're good to go. And if you're not, it has a red light and it doesn't beep. And the communication on there basically kind of forces a conversation, which is so important. You know, are you carrying the proper avalanche equipment? If you're not, here's some more information. So
that's smart.
We hope that this makes a difference out there, and it's been awesome to get a lot more like local snowmobile club and power sports dealerships have gotten on board. And each unit costs about $1,500. So it takes a little bit of sponsorship to get these going in some of these communities.
It's cool though. I mean, what's a life worth, right? $1,500. Like that's awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's one of the initiatives we've worked on.
Backcountry United, is that your group? Like, did you start that, or is that's cool?
Yeah.
And then TOBE Outerwear is a sponsor of this whole organization, or yourself as a personal athlete?
Both. Yeah, we you know, it's like you were saying, how things are very community based up there. It's kind of the same thing. Like, we all support one another in different ways, and you know, through media and through relationships. And TOBE keeps me geared up really well, so I can go out and teach these Avalanche classes and, you know, comfort and stay dry and warm. And of course, I reach a lot of people through the classes and different people, different places I go. And so I'm kind of a steward of the brand, you could say. And then I've got a couple other sponsors as well. Ortovox, which provides my Avalanche gear. And then we work with different organizations as well. We actually just started a 501c3. So I've been out here doing all this, like, kind of grassroots, goodwill type of things for our snowmobile community, for the backcountry community. And so we created a nonprofit organization, kind of spin off from it. So now we have the Backcountry United Foundation, where we're working on, you know, different initiatives. The big idea is, you know, fighting for public land access and trying to get people to recreate respectfully and responsibly. And like I said, you know, really look out for kind of the sustainability of our industry and snowmobile community. So
That's awesome.
It's really a passion project, more of an expense than anything. But, you know, in time, I think, I hope it'll sustain itself and kind of keep building some momentum. And, you know, hopefully we can get a manufacturer on board supporting us and, you know, do some bigger things but I'm all about the, you know, the conservative, like, slow and steady kind of growth with it. And, you know, we just want to do good work in the community and be authentic in how we do it. And so,
yeah, and education is key. Education is the key, right?
And it really, like, you know, sustains my lifestyle to be out in the mountains as well. So it works really well that way for me. I don't just snowboard and snowmobile for the fun of it anymore. It's actually work, and I'm thinking about all the ways that I can, you know, connect with other people and share my passion for the mountains, and, you know, kind of do it from a respectful approach. So
awesome.
I
do you have that's up that you can promote here, or
say that again?
You have a YouTube or Instagram or something you can promote?
Yeah, I have Instagram and Facebook channels. If you look up just Backcountry United, all one word.
Right on.
And then if you go to bcufoundation.org, that'll take you to our nonprofit website.
Okay, awesome.
And then there you go.
Yeah, here we go. Here, right on. Oh,
Right
there
on.
it is. Yeah, cool.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we're really, you know, speaking to a broader audience, trying to talk about, you know, how we can sustain our access to the outdoors and do it safely and look out for one another. And there's definitely an industry and culture kind of crossover to this.
Right.
Nice. That's great. Well, thanks for doing all this work, man. I'm just blown away that you, like, there's some parallel there with education, and it's funny because you don't think about mountain riding has the same, I guess the risks of losing sections or areas to ride that us flatlanders deal with year to year, as far as people disobeying the rules and that are set out, and then in our case landowners close the trail, or they have to reroute them and that kind of thing, where you're dealing with a whole organization of protecting the environment and the mountain, and, you know, you can't be here, you know, you're trespassing kind of thing, where you're saying no, and this is, let's do it all safe, let's all get along and do it properly. And we can all share this resource.
And we're all here for the same reasons. We just use different tools to do it, you know?
Well, it's smart that you're reaching out and like going across the table, so to speak, right? With skiing and whoever else, right? It totally makes sense. Because like you said, you're going to have to, like a lot of people take it for granted. We're going to have to start paying attention to the other side that doesn't want us out there. So it's huge. Right.
Yeah, I like to think that we could save the world or make the world a better place by, you know, really thinking about our human connection with nature. You know, that's what it really comes down to. You know, I know a lot of. I mean, I grew up construction worker, and you know, I'm as redneck as they come. But I've come to this realization that being outdoors with my family and with my friends is just, I mean, it's priceless. Like I'd rather have my lifestyle than, you know, some rich guy who lives in New York City and, you know, is stressed out and living in a toxic environment, you know, like we can breathe and roam and discover and push ourselves and, you know, just find so much awesomeness that's just around us here. And actually, since I moved back, it's kind of funny. I designed that logo. So I'm a graphic artist, creative director, marketing guy. So when I worked for Polaris, I was creating their basically advertising campaigns and such. And so that logo is an eagle kind of hidden in the ridge of the mountain. And
can you pull it back up, Gary?
Yeah, I will, definitely. What video is that, John?
And actually, there's just a file you could click on if you go back to, I think go to Backcountry United folder in the middle. And then there should be a folder at the top, upper left, says BCU logo.
Right on, yeah.
Up, there you go.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I see it. That's neat. Very good.
Cool.
So it's kind of funny moving back home. The area that I'm riding a lot these days, we see bald eagles everywhere.
That's wild.
And you'll actually see like where they've landed in the snow, like up on the mountain, and it's just incredible. So it's kind of a funny thing that worked out, and I'm just obsessed with the eagle now because it's such a symbol of freedom. And I'm like, you know, I just escaped the urban jungle and got all this space now to really enjoy the outdoors.
Awesome. Great logo. Great logo.
Yeah,
awesome
it is.
Design.
It's like the FedEx hidden arrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
if you, I mean, you don't have to look at it all right now, but if you have time, like I know you don't have the sound working right now, but there's a video here at the upper left, just right in front of you. Yeah, that one. So this is a video about an avalanche awareness event that we created at Vail Pass.
Oh, great on.
Is there sound now?
Nope. I can't hear anything.
No.
Odd. It's showing that I've got full sound coming in and coming out, so I don't know what's going on.
But yeah, feel free to check this stuff out when we, you know, after the call. You go to the next photo. You know, done some like avalanche awareness courses with kids, and you know, just trying to reach more and more people out there, and I'll always get my jab in there about how, you know, snowmobiling serves the greater good. Like all these groom trails that we all enjoy are paid for by snowmobilers, and our avalanche reports are created with snowmobile access. And yeah, you could cycle through those photos.
Yeah, for sure. This one's cool too.
You know,
I didn't get a chance to get through these before the show, but yeah.
That's awesome.
Mountains connect us all. Look at that, young and old too, right?
Yep. Get everybody involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
That logo is cool. Like even on the reverse there, right? And the negative, you know, with the white nut, it looked really good. It stands out. Looks awesome.
Yeah, these are all kind of event photos that we've done. Just trying to reach people wherever they are, talk about avalanche safety, and a lot of folks heading out into the backcountry without their gear on. So it's a great way to, talk about that and ask them if they've read the avalanche report, and, have you had any avalanche education? And by the way, like, have a beer, we're cooking bacon.
Oh, you're in Canada then. Bacon and beer and maple syrup.
It's pretty amazing how much people will come when you're cooking bacon out there.
Hey, you got free bacon. I'm there, man. Bacon makes everything better. I see that says next level on this sled. Do you work with Dan Adams as well?
I know Dan pretty well. I used to work with him quite a bit at Polaris.
Awesome.
So yeah, he's a good friend
really
of
good
mine.
buddies with us. Like Bobby, me and Rich know him really well. We're like that.
Go way back.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been out to his clinic?
I didn't get Christmas card from him this year though. So I don't know. Unless he got, maybe it's COVID mail or something. But
Yeah, we
Yeah,
need to get out there.
I worked a lot with Dan and Brant and Keith Curtis, and
That's awesome.
that was my years were kind of when we started bringing those guys in for our marketing approach. So I wrote the terrain domination tagline, if you remember that.
yes, absolutely. That's good work, man.
Wicked.
That's great.
Awesome.
And then TOBE has the choose your path tagline. I wrote that. I created Chris Barant's logo.
No way.
So there's a lot of my work out there in the industry from the last, 18 years.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How long were you with Polaris? How long were you with them for?
04 to 14.
Oh, you were there for a while.
Yeah, we had to recover the Fusion years.
We talk about the Fusion 900 a lot on this show.
Yeah.
We're hoping they bring it back for 2022. Yeah. So
Something tells me they probably won't bring that back anytime soon.
no, I don't think so. I'm a designer, but my only claim to fame is doing the Sled Addicts helmet wraps.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Nice.
it's pretty good. It's going to be big. It's going to be big. No, that's cool. I knew I loved you, John, from the moment I seen you. So
Thanks.
we're kind of one and the same. So
Well, we've got
that's good.
snowmobiles in common, so.
no, and design too. We'll talk after the
Okay.
show. Yeah,
Right
that's
on.
cool.
Yeah,
that's
this is a great shot that kind of expresses that idea of, skiers and sledders getting along.
Right on.
That's cool.
She was the like a director from the Avalanche Information Center, and that was like one of her first times she had ever gone snowmobiling. So, when you can start to share snowmobiling with people coming into our space, it's a really special thing. On this day, I took out 2 of the Avalanche forecasters. So they went out and did their snow pit and basically did all their field work so they could publish their report statewide. And I went out there sledding with them, and they all had newer Polaris RMKs. And so when they were getting stuck, I was showing them little tricks here and there. And great powder day, and we had a blast together. And you know how it goes. Like, you get out there and build some camaraderie, and you make friends pretty quickly.
That's cool.
That's
Very good.
I love your sled, man. The colors there are awesome.
Nice.
That
White,
blue
that's
tag, the white wrapping into the blue like that is really sweet.
That's
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
good.
This looks like
Awesome.
a great event.
Yeah, this one was pretty small. It was in this town called Red Cliff, and so you can actually park at the Vail Pass I-70 parking lot and ride your snowmobile like 30 miles. So it's probably similar to the trail riding, and of course we're surrounded by mountains, but you can ride this trail system to this little town called Red Cliff, and there's a bar and restaurant, and so people will make a kind of a trip out of it. And so we posted up our event here just right at the bottom of that canyon, and super fun to just get out there. We had the search and rescue group from Vail. We had the Forest Service and Parks and Wildlife. And it's kind of funny how, you know, you start to bring all these different organizations together too. What happens when, you know, the Forest Service people are like, oh, I'd never spent time with the, you know, search and rescue people other than an emergency, or, you know, the Avalanche Information Center people meeting the, you know, so it's just a great way to just connect the dots, because we're all kind of off doing our own things out there.
Yeah, that's wicked. There we go.
Yeah, and this is the one we did this one last year. You know, Two Dizzle?
Two Dizzle? No.
From Sledders 2.0.
Oh,
He's,
yeah. Okay.
He's
Right
a pretty. He's got a pretty good following. He's the guy sitting next to me. 509 athlete.
Yeah.
Really
Okay.
good dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on.
And then
That's awesome.
we had the 2B guys, the Ornavox, Erie, Forest Service, Avalanche Information Center, Never Summer Snowboards.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was a great event. And this one was great because there were people walking by with their, you know, their ski touring gear, and then there were people coming through with, you know, on rental, like 2-up trail sleds or timber sleds, or, you know, then there were like sled neck people. So we were really connecting with a wide variety
of people. Yeah, that's awesome.
of users.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man, though, that 2B monosuit looks awesome. Like the blue, the one you're wearing, it looks so warm.
Yeah,
it's great.
So that's my one 2-piece.
Oh, was a 2-piece that you were wearing?
Yeah.
In the military green, like color.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I'll wear that one if it's like gonna be warm and I need to shed a layer.
Yeah.
Definitely springtime.
Right on. Very cool.
There's the gang.
This is some of the crew on the Backcountry United team, and then the guy on the far right is a guy named Luis Benitez, who headed up the Colorado Outdoor Recreation Department underneath the Office of Economic Development.
Okay.
And so he was key in attracting the outdoor retailer trade show Denver after the state of Utah had some kind of missteps, like with some public land issues. And so he was with the previous governor's term, and then after that was over, he started working for VF Corporation. So VF moved to Denver from North Carolina, and the brands under VF are the North Face, Smart Wool, Wrangler, Vans, Timberland.
Okay.
Quite a few big outdoor brands.
Wow.
So he's now the VP of Governmental Affairs for VF Corporation. And so it's interesting, like, you know, he's a small town guy from another community south of here, kind of worked his way into the outdoor industry, and he's got a lot of influence in that world, which ironically is a very influential industry on some of these wilderness groups. And so, you know, he's somebody that has taken to our message and has supported us out there. And, you know, so he's a pretty big face to, you know, be supporting us as we're trying to reach across the aisle.
That's great. You need that advocate in your corner, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful shots, blasted out. It's really underexposed on the stream, but the photo I'm looking on my screen is dynamite.
So this is one of our level 1 classes with Matt. So Matt's down there in the lower right in the red. So we see, you know, 4 to 5 classes, 12 students per class, you know, so we're seeing 50 to 60 students a season, who really come from all over the country to come and spend 3 days with us. And it's a really awesome program. Matt's a phenomenal rider and professional, and And he's really does a great job of showing avalanche education and context with the way that, you know, a lot of guys are actually riding the snowmobiles these days.
Yeah, cool. Where was I here? I actually ended up getting off of that.
If you go back to media share at the top.
Action stills, right?
Yeah, I think we looked at most of those.
Oh no, it was
So
this one. Oh yeah, it was this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the last one there anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah, this is my big drive. I've been kind of gathering it because I'm doing a lot more podcasts and stuff recently. Like I need to stop doing this every time I'm talking to somebody new.
yeah, no problem.
So these are all like just old photos from.
Well, it's nice you've got them all in one place. I was really impressed at the last minute.
All organized.
5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. Yeah, I sent you a folder. It's like, whoa. You know?
Yeah, I've been out there for quite a while. I've got a lot of pictures and videos.
Look, that's an awesome. You're hucking it off of that. That's great. These are just dynamite. Like, man.
That's in Alaska. So on the left is Randy Sherman, who's like a sled next pioneer. Really
cool.
One of the early innovators of big mountain freestyle snowmobiling. And then the guy on the right is Adam Brummond. Adam grew up racing snowcross, like was kind of neck and neck with Levi Lavallee for a lot of years. Phenomenal mountain rider. And if you go back, go to the left. I think I saw something interesting there. The next shot on the left. So that's Thomas.
Look at the cameras. Holy.
Cool. So that's me leaning on the upper or on the left side.
Right there.
Yeah, and I'm with all.
Hat?
Yeah. And
so was that camera rig falling down a hill or something?
Yeah, so we lugged all those rigs in pieces. This is up at Togedy. Brant is in the snow camo in the upper left. And we're setting up a shot where, so there was on each end we had a red camera, and then in between we had all these DSLR cameras, and they focused all the cameras on a focal point, and then Brant came in with a downhill turn, and basically what we did was called a time slice. So you basically transition from one camera to the other, and so all those cameras in between are getting that angle. So that yep. So in the video editing, it's like he's doing this move, and then we're moving around him, and then it videos him riding away.
That's awesome.
We experimented with this for like 3 or 4 days in a row, and it was a lot of effort for a very, very small return. But at the time, it was a very technologically advanced technique that we used in our commercials that, you know, kind of set us apart that way.
Yeah, and now they make a 360 cam that would do the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah,
totally.
There's an app for that. Yeah. That is cool. That rig is awesome.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
We were up at 4 o'clock in the morning, heading out in the dark, you know, day after day, trying to get shots with this thing.
What are they holding? What's everyone holding it for? Are you just trying to brace it, or?
Yeah, we're trying to get it into the right position.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's cool.
And funny thing is we're actually sitting at the bottom of an avalanche path, and we didn't even realize it.
Whoa.
Oops.
How many are on there again?
10 years ago.
How many cameras? That's insane.
Yeah, that arc is huge too. You can't.
Yeah, you don't realize.
You can see the swoop in it, right? Yeah. You can see like that part right there is like crazy. Really.
Well, and then the other thing is, you know, Chris had one take. Like As soon as he did that shot, the snow was beat up and we couldn't get the shot. So it kind of goes to speak to, just how talented these riders are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that all the time. People saying how talented. There's another shot.
All right. Well, I kind of got to dip out, guys. So
yeah,
no problem. Yeah. We'll maybe what we'll do is we'll cut it back. But thanks again to TOBE Outerwear for setting this up. John Miller, thank you. And
this is actually the perfect shot to end it with, because that's Thomas, the owner of TOBE.
Oh, right on.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's us up on Wolf Creek Pass back in 2011, and it's been a great ride with those guys ever since.
No, they've been great. I just started talking a couple weeks ago, and Julie was who contacted me, and Dynamite, really friendly, just whatever we need, we got, and then just today is like, yeah, you want to come on the show? And she said, I'll get one of our athletes to come on with you. It's like, that's great. That's perfect. So I really appreciate your time tonight, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
And thanks for everything you do as well, too. Like doing this is awesome. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much. Definitely, if anybody wants to support our mission, we take donations, bcufoundation.org. We're out there really trying to do a positive thing for our snowmobile community and industry. Definitely appreciate all the support.
No problem. Yeah,
That's
I'll
awesome.
put it in the description as well. And TOBEouterwear.com, and also don't forget energypowersports.ca, bringing you this podcast every week and live stream, obviously on YouTube. So I'm just going to roll some credits, John, and thank you again. Hopefully we'll get you back on here as time rolls on.
Yeah,
sounds
awesome.
good. And you guys need to make a trip to Colorado.
Yeah, for sure.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. It's
awesome.
definitely
Thanks,
on the
John.
bucket list. Well, thanks again, guys. Thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Rich. Thanks, John. If you want to hang out after the credits roll just for a second, I'm just going to roll these for 30 seconds.
Awesome.
It's a journey for life.